Pirates Full Level System, Chapter 261-280. Chapter 261 Growler. Ah, the high platform has fallen, run away. The people who had been staying beside the high platform began to run away quickly. They just came to watch a play today, not to die. However, in a corner where they madly poured out, there was a back figure walking in the opposite direction. The direction of this person's walking was different from the direction of those who ran away madly. He was walking towards the high platform. This man was wearing a black suit with a faint smile on his face, as if everything at this moment had nothing to do with him. If Lu Yun saw this person at this time, he would know that this person is actually Growler. Growler is not a simple pirate. He is a pirate with a bounty of more than 600 million, and he is also a bounty hunter. He has a wide range of friends, but he can eat both black and white. He not only sold Marine's intelligence to the Revolutionary Army, but also collected all kinds of information about pirates from the Revolutionary Army, and then went to catch the pirates and hand them over to Marine to receive bounties from Marine. It can be said that there have been many famous pirates who have fallen into his hands in recent years. As early as 5 years ago, the pirate clone Jack, who was more famous than Roger at the time, was betrayed by him, and then together with Marine, he captured the clone Jack. Otherwise, with the ability of clone Jack, where in the world could anyone catch him? Live with him. Growler's purpose in coming here today is definitely not simple. Roger is a thorn in Marine's eyes. As long as he can sneak Roger's body away today, he can guarantee that he can extort a bounty from Marine later, or get some more. The intelligence that the Revolutionary Party needs, and then sells it backhand, is another huge sum of money. Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. This is the motto of the intelligence expert Growler, a pirate and bounty hunter who offers a reward of 600 million but can always get away with it. He had been watching everything that happened here just now, and he was going to go over and sneak Roger's body away. In his opinion, the high platform has also been broken, and the body of the once powerful One Piece King of Pirates Roger lies in the ruins of this high platform. Drink. The area of the ruins immediately formed an energy circle, and all the things in the energy circle seemed to be divided and tumbled again, and they were directly blown into powder. I don't know how Growler did it. After all, this ability seems to be more powerful than the ability of the later scalpel fruit Trafalluo. Withdraw. A word was ejected from Growler's mouth, and then the circle quickly disappeared, but there were no so-called abandoned debris in the place. Roger's body had appeared on the ground, and his whole body was covered in blood, and there was still blood on Roger's shoulders. There are 2 knives in it. Both knives had their hilts worn off by Growler. Lu Yun, you have lost your reputation, but unfortunately you are not as smart as me. Some people always think that as long as you have a strong strength, the world can obey your command, but they don't know the will of God. Can people be easily shaken? Gorosei, 5 elders are just the spokespersons of Tenryubito. Among the Tenryubito, there are strong men who are not known to the outside world. Besides the strong men, they have mysterious weapons, which are more terrifying than Buster Call. A human meat grinder. Growler couldn't help but admire his own wisdom. If anyone in this world has seen the text of the world except the cold corpse on the ground who has seen the text of the world, then the people who have seen it must include Growler. Of course, he did not see it directly. It is inferred from the combination of what he has seen and heard and the information he obtained through his own channels. Tenryubito seen on weekdays is definitely not the core of Tenryubito. On the contrary, they are just Tenryubito's rice borers. They are just smoke bombs released by Tenryubito. Let's go where you should go. Growler sneered, rolling up the body of One Piece King of Pirates Roger and turning around to unfold a complicated circle. Suddenly, a strong aura of death enveloped Growler crazily. It was a burst of intense hatred that could no longer be added to be able to emit a terrifying aura. As a result, Growler had the opportunity to immediately take the body of One Piece King of Pirates Roger with him. Left secretly. He wanted to stop the movement in his hand, put down Roger's body and leave first, but it was too late. Chinluo had already locked his breath. Grid. Lao. Son. Chinluo's roar came from behind. This kid dared to make small moves behind his back. I told you, don't make any small moves in front of me. Luyun, others call you the great god of Luyun, but do you think I'll be afraid of you? Growler still maintained a condescending appearance, turned around and restrained the fluctuations of power on his body. I've heard of Lu Yun's ability. But he is not afraid now, because Roger is this person's weakness. However, even if Roger is a corpse, he is still in his hands, and he can make Chinluo throw the mouse away. If you beg me now, I will give you a way to survive. Chinluo had just beaten Garp, the grandson in front of him, and this kid dared to instruct the lieutenant commander left and right to capture Roger and threaten him. 0. In his life, he hated others to threaten him the most. I'm begging you now, don't be joking, everyone is an adult. I beg you, and you are afraid that you will break my neck if you turn your hands. The reason why I can speak to you on an equal footing is because my strength. Growler said condescendingly. Humph, you're not worthy of being on an equal footing with me. Even if you pour me tea and water, I think your appearance is disgusting. Chinluo sneered. It's good to know the current affairs. I don't care to be on an equal footing with you. I'll give you this Roger's body now, but that will have to wait until I'm far away. Growler can be said to be the closest and most aware of Roger's situation. Just now Growler had felt Roger's indiscernible tremor. Although his devil fruit is not a scalpel fruit, any living body within his ability can be crushed by him, as long as he is moved by his will. So he noticed just now that Roger hadn't completely died, so he made up his mind. If Chinluo was told the news, Chinluo would not have time to hunt him down. Seeing Chinluo's strength, Growler would knowing that even if he wins, he will definitely be injured on both sides. Because this stinky brat in front of him will only go head to head, and such a person is just a reckless common man, who is not enough to look at in front of him, Growler, and a little trick can make the other party fall into the quagmire. Chapter 262 Encounter Calculation. Thinking of this, Growler turned his head and immediately came up with a plan. Actually, to be honest, even if I swagger out at this moment, you can't kill me. Do you want me to tell you quietly? Why? Haha, it looks like you're indifferent to this secret of mine. But then let's see for yourself. Before you come after me, you'd better check Roger's situation, that's all. Shaunala. Brave Sisyphus. Sisyphus refers to a legendary figure in the Western world who is said to be able to push a large round stone 1 foot taller than himself, but his brain can only push from the top of the mountain to the bottom, and then from the bottom of the mountain. Push to the top of the mountain. So he was actually mocking Chinluo for being a reckless bull. He had done the math. Now that Roger was dying, he had to be treated immediately to have a chance to save him. There was not much time left. If Chinluo chased and killed him at this time, Roger would definitely not be able to save him. So he swaggered away. Roger belongs to Logatown originally. It belongs to me, and I don't need you to give it to me. I don't believe that a dead man can still snatch someone from me. Chinluo said coldly. He was not in a hurry to catch up. Although he turned black, it didn't mean that he didn't see why Growler was so confident. Chinluo walked towards Roger quickly, and his eyes flashed a pupil in an instant, and the pupil pattern was complicated. This is the function of the white eye attached to the kaleidoscope writing wheel eye, which can clearly see the network diagram of the energy flow of various organs in the human body. He was really dazzled by anger before. After the so-called Growler reminded him, Chinluo felt that something was wrong with Roger. Under this sweep. He's not dead. Roger is not dead. Chinluo laughed wildly in his heart. The originally super depressed mood, the feeling of being blocked suddenly collapsed at this moment. Roger, this kid can play. The two knives just brushed past the left and right edges of the heart, so the two knives penetrated the chest directly, but did not cause substantial damage to the heart. Chinluo had completely lost his mind to fight, and was so excited that he couldn't help but laugh. But fortunately, there was a mask on his face at this time, and outsiders couldn't see Chin Luo's expression at this moment. "Roger, can you last 5 minutes? Chin Luo knew that now Roger must get treatment as soon as possible, or he would die of excessive bleeding. Chin Luo knew that he could chase the arrogant Growler back in just 5 minutes, but that kid didn't have any good intentions. He always felt that the kid had some secrets from him. Especially the last person's expression that he was convinced of you Chin Luo made Chin Luo very unhappy. System panel. Yes, Lord Host. How can I help you? Spend 100,000 points to summon Tsunade. Boom boom boom. At the same time Chin Luo said that sentence, the system panel began to react. Starting from Chin Luo's side, a complicated pentagram pattern quickly flashed with Chin Luo as the core, and Chin Luo read the words familiar to Vice Admiral. All the gathered rays of light from the 5-pointed star were transmitted at once, and then began to pile up frantically at a distance of 1 step behind Chin Luo. Boom. After 2 beeps, a person wrapped in light appeared. This body gradually took on feminine characteristics, with a protruding front and back, exquisite and graceful. In less than a minute, the light on this body suddenly dissipated. At this moment, a turbulent wave can be seen, and the chest is still wearing a split corset that looks like Mai Shiranui's clothes, and the covert hemisphere is released in the air naked, looking at this shape as at least F or above. It is a must-kill artifact for any otaku. Oh, my great God, you are finally willing to summon me, have you finally remembered the slave family? Such a beautiful woman did not pounce with anger, but looked at the man in front of her with a look of resentment. Cough cough, thinking that I wanted to meet Tsunade in the bar just now, and then drink with Tsunade, and then enjoy the joy of human relations. I didn't expect it to be realized so quickly. A woman who spurts blood, Chin Luo is really not Lu Shahui, who doesn't want it. Pity that Roger's situation is very critical now. Although Chin Luo can guarantee that he can go back and forth in a few seconds, in order to ensure that there is no accident in Roger's treatment, Tsunade was summoned to be on the safe side. Tsunade, this man's name is Roger, you save him, use a live slug to save his life first. For Chin Luo, the hardest thing to endure in this world is beauty and heroism. So Chin Luo really didn't dare to look at Tsunade. Tsunade didn't think that the man in his family was interceding for another man when he saw him for the first time, and the lonely love that made Tsunade tumbled seemed to have no place to vent. Roger, who was on the verge of death, and said, "Thank you. I'll leave it to you here." Hey, Tsunade is of course not a little woman like Momoshiki who doesn't care about the overall situation. Naturally, she won't be angry because of this, but it's really annoying to see her man run away without even looking at her. Looking at the mess on the ground, in the strange eyes of others, he bit his finger and directly summoned a huge live slug. As soon as the live slug appeared, it shook all the rubbish nearby. My God, what kind of monster is this? It's too big. It won't be a sea king. The sea kings can still go ashore. It's unheard of, I guess it's a land king. Tsunade almost laughed when she heard this. This group of people didn't know anyone, but she didn't know much. Since Chin Luo immediately thought of herself when she was in trouble, she could be a Zhonghuiyan with peace of mind. Who told her that she had already regarded herself as 1.8 Chin Luo's woman? I didn't expect this man's injuries to be so serious. Tsunade frowned, and hurriedly asked Slug to start treating the man. The bored Tsunade stared blankly at the man who had gone away. Suddenly, a man in a black formal suit flashed in front of him, with a faint smile on his face, and said to Tsunade with a hilarious smile, "Hello, my name is Growler, you can call me that." Of course, Chin Luo didn't have to kill Growler because he was so rude, but because the old man already knew the secret that Roger wasn't dead. Sao. And if the layout arranged by Roger himself fails, causing a delay in the advent of the era of great voyages, the historical plot will be tampered with. Chapter 263 I Bet You Are a Friend. Without those historical plots, Chin Luo would not be able to predict the future trend at that time. No matter how strong he is, he may not be able to make a breakthrough in this era. After all, the one who really ended the rule of this world government might be Captain Luffy, who had an extreme attack of naive tunabile disease. The leaders of each era have some temperaments that are particularly fascinating. For example, Sun Pioneer, who bragged about the sky. He ended an era. But he failed countless times in his life, and it was that revolution that made him seize the opportunity. So these are the temperaments of some world leaders. Chin Luo may only be a respected loner in this world, but he will never be the kind of leader with friends all over the world. Because he never brags, every word he speaks is the truth. For example, now, 5 minutes is enough for a round trip. Chin Luo used his bouncing to quickly catch up to the sea exit, but he couldn't see the old fox of Growler for a long time. 16 Eyes of Chin Luo, who has strong perception ability. Water melts everything. Chin Luo raised his body and threw himself into the sea. All devil fruit people were afraid of seawater, but Chin Luo had an indissoluble bond with seawater. Once immersed in the seawater, the situation of tens of thousands of kilometers in this sea area has already appeared in Chin Luo's mind. There is an extremely dangerous feeling faintly approaching Chin Luo, and the situation here is about to exceed. Chin Luo's control is out. Suddenly, a picture flashed in his mind at this time. This was the information that the sea water gave him. There was a very bad premonition in the direction he came from. In the picture he perceives, Tsunade is looking resentfully towards the direction he left. Suddenly, a man in black hardcover appears in front of Tsunade. This man's body shape and walking posture are very similar to a person. It's him. Chin Luo woke up. Isn't this guy Growler with a smile on his face? No wonder he couldn't find this kid along the way, but he went and returned. No, Tsunade is in danger. Chin Luo roared wildly, full body. Boom boom boom. With Chin Luo's cry, his body began to grow frantically, as if from a small tree to an ancient tree in just a few seconds. Not enough, not enough. Chin Luo roared, this distance, Chin Luo is too lazy to run past, he wants to step over. So the body needs to be big enough. He has grown up to be taller than a 3-story lighthouse by the sea, but this is still not up to Chin Luo's requirements. He needs to be 3 times as tall as the lighthouse. Only by stepping over it can he directly reach Roger's execution site. In that square. But the people in the town have already begun to panic. I don't know when a black wall suddenly appeared over the town, blocking a large area of sunlight, as if a huge tornado was forming on the sea, obscuring the sky and the sun. Both the town and the clouds over the sea were shrouded in shadows. Ah, what is it? Is the storm coming? Where there? Not a storm, that turned out to be a giant. How can there be such a big giant? Even the devil's son Oz is not so big. I don't know, but judging from the person's body shape, he is on the seaside of the island, and he is still growing. Could it be the devil of the sea looking for someone? When the people on the island said that this person was the devil of the sea, they didn't know why they all accepted the fact that people can be so big. Of course they still ran in fear. Woman, release the man in your pet's mouth. Growler, who was wearing black clothes at this time, said leisurely. Who are you? Are you a friend with my man? Tsunade is not a character like Momoshiki, she is the dignified 5th-generation Hokage-sama. For the smiling face in front of him, Tsunade must first judge this person as an enemy or friends. It can be said that I know the man you mentioned very well, and because I know him, I may not be able to be friends with him. But this has nothing to do with this. As long as you obediently hand over the man named Roger, I will not embarrassing you, because I have never felt sorry for a woman. Even in the face of a woman with an F cover like Tsunade, this Growler still looks like a condescending child. Oh, I bet you are our friend. However, I have never won when I gambled. Tsunade laughed heartily, and in that case, she could only rely on her own strength to guard the task that her man gave her. You are also an interesting woman, but unfortunately you are about to be smashed to pieces. Do you know what it feels like to be turned into ashes and scattered in the sea? Of course, Growler is very confident. She is very confident in her resourcefulness and concealment methods. That person called the god of flowing clouds was deceived round and round. Because of his ability to cut himself into pieces, and then hide it, the one that disappears directly with his breath, plus he rarely shows his ability in front of others, so the person who can know his ability in this world no more than 5 fingers. That kid must have gone out to sea to find himself now, and the time he spent here is nothing at all. Drink. A long howl spewed out of Growler's mouth, and then turned into a strange circle, and the circle quickly turned into a long gray thing, and these gray things reflected the surging sunlight. Women, take one last look at this wonderful world. The strange circle made a screeching sound, and it quickly wrapped Tsunade. A snow-like blizzard whizzed past in front of the circle, and soon came to Tsunade. Ah, what is this? Before Tsunade could react, his whole body was already wrapped in these unknown and terrifying blizzards. To bow 613. Master Tsunade. The live slug immediately felt the crisis of its master, so it couldn't control the injured Roger in its mouth. Into that battle circle. Don't go in, Tsunade called out, but it was too late. In the second half of her sentence, she wanted to say, protect Qin Luo's mission to us. Before she could say it, she was directly swallowed by the blizzard. I told you to give in earlier, but you refused. What's the use of following such a reckless man? A stinky boy who will only be fooled by me. Ha ha. Growler was hearty Isho, and walked to the side of Roger, who was lost and found. Taking a look, Roger was already in danger. But the dead are the same as the living. He rolls up Roger, then prepares to command the eccentric circle to cut the person and pet to pieces and leave. Right at this moment. Look at what that is. Yeah, it's the sky, something fell from the sky. Is it a storm? Ah, not a storm. It's a living thing, a supersized sea king. How can it have such a huge body? PFF'd. Under the gazes of these ignorant islanders, their huge feet fell from the sky, trampling all the boats docked on the shore to pieces with 1 foot, and the ground immediately dented a large piece, and a large crack appeared, left and right. The people on both sides could not maintain their balance and fell into the huge pit. Chapter 264 Yin Seal Solution. With the huge movement produced by this huge foot, even a calm person like Growler couldn't help but look at the place where the movement was made. Taking advantage of Growler's momentary absence, Tsunade, who had been swallowed by the white light blizzard, suddenly rushed out and grabbed Roger back. But before Tsunade was ready to flee, the white light blizzard followed her like a shadow and enveloped her. Tsunade, who was in the snowstorm of white light, could not protect herself, let alone protect a dying Roger. Before she was able to rush out, it was because of Growler's lack of attention and carelessness. Now she is being stared at by Growler, and it must be no fun. That's the only way. Hey, Tsunade sighed. She must complete the task Qin Luo gave her, and she didn't want to disappoint Qin Luo. So Tsunade first summoned the live slug again and let it swallow Roger, and then released the summon, and let Roger hide in the space of the live slug. I underestimate you, woman, but you'd better hand Roger over. Growler's eyes became more and more bad. He just turned over a major mistake. He has never allowed mistakes. If he makes a mistake, all the people who caused his mistakes will be obliterated. Tsunade naturally wouldn't return to him. Seeing the huge figure, Tsunade knew that Qin Luo was rushing back, and now she just had to hold on. Woman, it looks like he's coming, so I can't keep you. I'll prepare a surprise for him. Growler still had a smile on his face, but the killing intent he revealed became stronger and stronger. Has begun to tap. Lulu. As Growler murmured in a low voice, an invisible and intangible huge circle centered on him was released from his body, accompanied by a large piece of light flickering out, directly joining the white light blizzard that wrapped Tsunade. Ah! The snow-like blades stabbed Tsunade piece by piece. This was just a small threat from Growler. He was going to cut Tsunade into pieces later. Don't hand it over. When will it be your turn to take care of my mother's affairs? I will give it to whomever my mother likes. Tsunade shouted wildly. A blue cursor flashed on his forehead, and it disappeared after flashing, apparently entering the arriving in Tsunade's body. The surging chakra burst out from Tsunade's body. The Yin seal is released. The Art of 100 Heroes. Open. Chakra formed a large protective layer on Tsunade, and the vibrating energy wave directly blocked the blizzard-like white sword light from the other side. The energy is monstrous. The blizzard has stopped. They turned into pieces of iron and fell to the ground. It hurts my feet. Tsunade released the chakra that he usually stored, and raised his strength to the Hokage level at one time. Even if it was a little worse in this world, it was at least Admiral-level attack power. As Tsunade soared into the sky, a large amount of chakra gathered on Tsunade's feet, so that a faint blue chakra light condensed on the feet. Drink. The violent power surged out from the feet. The terrifying fighting technique directly exploded with the strongest kick under the strong increase of chakra. The rays of light in midair radiated outwards with Tsunade as the core. Grower looked at the woman in front of him in shock, with a blinded look on his face. Originally, he thought that this was a woman with a bit of self-protection ability, but he did not expect that his attack would be blocked, and now the opponent's attack had already been attacked. Made him feel dangerous. Grower immediately called back his blizzard and wrapped himself with his backhand. Boom boom boom. Painful feet fall directly. It fell all the way and landed directly in the blizzard. Countless dense blades slid across that foot, scratching it, and at the same time following Tsunade. Ah! With a frantic roar, Tsunade's attack was unabated at all, and he chopped down directly at Grower, breaking up the blizzard, but he also didn't see Grower's figure. Numerous dense and slender cracks began to crack around with the pained feet as the center, and there was no complete land on the ground. Ha ha, good woman, you actually have this hand. Grower laughed wildly. There was some shock, but he was only shocked. He could feel the woman in front of him was also suffering tremendous pain. The woman in front of her was already covered in blood. You're so badly injured, you can't hold on for long. Grower continued, with a hint of cruelty in his voice. I can hold on till he comes back. This is Tsunade's response to Chin Luo's promise. The relationship between the two of them is no longer a give-and-take relationship. They have begun to not distinguish between each other. No matter how much is left in their lives, they can give everything. Can give each other. Create regeneration. Tsunade murmured, constantly reducing his lifespan, using the chakra in his body to stimulate the proteins in his body to accelerate the division of various cells, thus achieving the regeneration of tissue cells and even tissues and organs. From the outside, the chakra wrapped around her own body began to emerge again, and pieces of light flickered out, covering Tsunade's whole body in 0 ways. Repaired directly in the past. It hurts my feet. The power of chakra stimulated the painful nerves in her feet, which caused a huge energy shock, and Tsunade rose into the sky again. Woman, you haven't seen the gap between me and you ran up to die by yourself. Grower was already annoyed. Blizzard fury. The snow-white blades flying in the sky formed a huge storm, like a hurricane generated from the sea level after a large high and low pressure airflow collided and finally formed. The height of the blizzard had reached 5 meters. Kaka. The surrounding houses were attracted and turned into pieces. The wooden house was pulled in directly, and it turned into a pile of debris with almost 2 clicks, and the sand and stones on the ground were also swept away. A large piece of cracked land soon appeared on the ground, and it was pulled and rolled up into the air. Die, woman, let me give you a big blizzard funeral. Feeling the more and more turbulent energy on his arm, Grower has a feeling that he is about to lose control of this storm. Even his own face was accidentally scratched by energy ripples. Dump. Grower moved his hand, and a huge blizzard burst out. Facing Tsunade who fell from the sky, he directly took a bite. Tsunade. A roar fell from the sky, like thunder. Chapter 265 Trampled to Death. At this moment, a thunderous roar came from the sky, and a huge hand flew down and accurately grabbed Tsunade by the waist, while the other foot stepped down directly. From Grower's point of view, the current picture is strange. The blizzard he created is already a super long monster with a height of 5 meters. For ordinary people, it has long been hidden from the sky. Although there was a commotion from the other side of the coast just now, Growler just guessed what kind of secret technique Chin Luo used to rush back, and he never thought that it was Chin Luo's body that covered a lot of shadows in the sky. That is, in this cognitive error. While Growler was intently preparing to kill Tsunade in one fell swoop, he inexplicably saw the sky suddenly stretch out a hand to directly protect Tsunade from midair. At the same time, Tsunade's painful foot suddenly magnified dozens of times, and it slammed down with one foot as if a human stepped on an ant to death. The 5-meter-high hurricane was instantly shattered by a big kick. So sharp, so crazy, the blizzard blade didn't do any damage to the big foot. Stepped on without any pain, and Growler himself was stunned, so he was trampled to death on the spot. Growler became the first pirate to be trampled to death by another pirate since he became a pirate. It is estimated that he will be as famous as Roger, who completed the Great Route for the first time. Chin Luo squeezed a sweat and quickly reduced himself. Tsunade, Tsunade, are you all right? Chin Luo hugged Tsunade and stared at Tsunade, who was blue all over. In addition to being a pirate fan, Chin Luo has also been a Hokage fan for 10 years. Of course, at this time, he can also see that Tsunade has released the mysterious power in his body. If this kind of energy is used too much, there will definitely be problems. Such as reducing life expectancy or something. Seeing Tsunade's eyes slightly closed and his long eyelashes trembling slightly, he wanted to lean in for a kiss for no reason. Chin Luo secretly thought, was he overly frightened? Should he use artificial respiration? Forget it, you will suffer a bit, and do artificial respiration reluctantly. Ah, master. As soon as Tsunade opened her eyes, the first thing she saw was the man she was thinking about day and night. At this time, the other person shamelessly brought his mouth close, but she didn't feel disgusted, but she didn't know why. With a blushing face for no reason, he wanted to fall to the ground. What are you doing? Let the old lady down. I'm not advocating American imperialism and kissing the heroine at the end of a good show. Chin Luo laughed embarrassingly. Go away, my mother is a woman from Konoha village, so I don't want to eat that. Tsunade said with a sigh. Chin Luo put the person down embarrassingly and murmured, I've already been to my bed, and I still care about this half-kiss. What did you say? Tsunade put away the yin seal on his body again, extracted energy from his body's chakra, and formed a rune between his eyebrows again. The rune flashed and disappeared. Become a sapphire in the eyebrows. No, it's nothing, Chin Luo hurriedly said. If this kind of thing were known to the stronger Tsunade, I was afraid that he would not be able to climb up in the future. Where's that person? Tsunade asked. Who are you talking about? The man in black. I don't know. Go and see if there are any prints on my footprints, Chin Luo said. Tsunade walked over to take a look, and sure enough, in the huge footprint Chin Luo just stepped on, there was a person who was crushed and could not see his appearance. This person was directly embedded in the soil, and the whole person became like a piece of paper. There was also a mouthful of blood in the man's mouth, which was obviously spit out when he received a heavy blow. Tsunade has been fighting with this man for a long time. He knows that this man definitely still has a lot of abilities that he has yet to show. In this state, it seems that this Growler definitely did not expect to be instantly killed. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so ugly to die. Hey, why does this person have no sense of crisis? He didn't even dodge when such a big stinky foot fell. Tsunade muttered. You say my stinky feet, then your painful feet. Chin Luo said fiercely. I'm fragrant feet. Hong Kong feet. Chin Luo couldn't hold back his mind, and directly said the internet nouns of his era. You're courting death, right? Although Tsunade is not a person from the same world as Chin Luo, he still understands this sentence, because Chin Luo explained this term to her before he died. It hurts my feet. Miss, spare your life. Chin Luo hurriedly confessed his counsel, let Roger out now, and call the slug to hang his life. Let go of you. If Growler was still alive at this time, he would probably have vomited blood and died. This own blizzard has already blown up to 5 meters high. Who knows that there will be a monster at least twice as high as 5 meters. Just step on it. No matter how much he thinks, the 10-meter-high giant is not something he can imagine. If you want to blame, you can only blame Chinluo's physical body as too perverted. Chinluo didn't know how depressed Growler would be when he was trampled to death by his own foot, but this kid has done so many insidious transactions, so the way of death is well deserved. Chinluo glanced at Garp and Sengoku who were lying on the ground, and left without saying anything. Tsunade followed. Garp and Sengoku looked at each other and tried to catch up, but he was almost brave, but Garp said optimistically, "One day they will be caught by us. Then we will put them both in infinite hell." No, this kid can get bigger, but he can't be locked in an infinite area. Forget it, don't worry about it, this kid will die one day. Looking at the black robe, Luyuan Chengshang's back is getting farther and farther. You're so optimistic, what if this cloud is immortal? Sengoku almost vomited out another mouthful of blood from Garp's anger. How can a person live forever? You and I are both in our 70s and 80s, and our teeth are too old to bite. There are always some people who will live forever. In Marine, Sengoku is a level higher than Garp, and his natural knowledge is broader. After saying this, thinking about it, an idea suddenly appeared in Sengoku's mind. After all, he is the resourceful general, naturally more sensitive than the average person. No, we have to go back to see Marshal Kong quickly. I have a guess. I don't know if it's accurate, but I know it's definitely possible. Blood spit out. Chapter 266-Air Marshal's Anger. Sengoku, take it easy, you're not immortal, can you manage so much? Garp still looked indifferent to himself. When the sky fell, there were tall people on his back. The most important thing in life is to live a free and unrestrained life. I think this kid Luyuan is alive and well. The last time I escaped, I ran out of the infinite hell. I heard that I had seduced Momoshiki from the marine camp, and that sexy stunner-like woman just now. What are you thinking? I tell you, Gorosei, 5 elders are the fruit of life, if he goes. Sengoku said more and more softly. What are you talking about? Hurry back, go back now. Prepare to call Marshal Kong and make an appointment to have a chat with him. The more Garp listened, the darker his face became. If this conjecture is true, what happened here it will become more complicated, and it is not something that a few of them can handle. Immortality, who wouldn't want it? Garp arranged for 2 vice admirals to deal with the boat, then went to find a phone bug himself. Blue. Garp called Kong's phone bug, but no one answered the call for a long time. What happened? Garp was not reconciled and continued to call Kong's phone bug. Garp, is Roger dead? Is the public execution going well? Kong's majestic voice came over the phone. Garp knew that such a blunt tone was already relatively kind. Kong was notoriously violent. We'll find out later that Roger was dead, but his body was robbed. Report to the marshal. Roger is dead. Sengoku has a conjecture about the Gorosei, 5 elders, which is related to Luyuan, and asks the marshal to wait for us at the marine headquarters for 1 day, and we will report the situation to you in person 1 day later. Roger is dead. That's the best. The vicious pirate is finally dead. However, Roger's body was robbed. What? How did you get kidnapped? Aren't you with Sengoku? Sengoku, come here, Sengoku, die for me, explain to me. Otherwise, I will kill you. Reporting to the marshal, Sengoku was injured on duty, he was vomiting blood just now, and is now receiving treatment. Don't pretend to be dead for me, you two hurry back and report to me. Clap. Garp hung up the phone when he wanted to continue talking, and the expression on his face was as uncomfortable as constipation, but the fact that Roger's body was robbed really hurt Marine's face. Under the supervision of Sengoku and Garp, there are still people who dare to openly cause trouble in the law field. This is a damage to Marine's majesty. What is even more frightening is that both Sengoku and Garp were beaten by the people who made a big noise in the law field. This face is really embarrassing. Fortunately, Roger is dead, otherwise today is probably the day where Marine's majesty is swept away. But this can't be blamed on the two of them. After all, Lu Yun's ability is already beyond their ability to provoke, destroying the Holy Land, escaping from the infinite hell, which one of these things is not a big news that shocks the world. I'm only afraid of tomorrow's newspaper. From Loga Town, there is no wind and no waves. Except for the locals, no one can call the name of the island. The sea near the island is very quiet, and there are no sea kings and crazy weather changes. At this time, a huge ship was docked on the edge of this small island, which was twice the size of an ordinary marine warship. The huge canvas painted on it was a skull representing a pirate. A beard in the shape of a mysterious moon, and this is Whitebeard's pirate ship. Everyone on the pirate ship was ready, as if a brutal war was about to break out. Everyone was waiting for the battle, and no one dared to relax. At the center of the boat sits an old man who is more than twice the size of a normal person, with white hair like silver and a naked upper body, holding a bottle of wine in one hand, and a bottle similar to his size in the other hand. The commensurately large bowls are pouring and drinking from bowl to bowl. The left and right sides are the captains of his fleet. The captains of the squadrons such as Diamond Jozu, Bramank, Buffalo, Atmos stand in the front, and behind the second squad is a very inconspicuous newcomer Marshal Didiki. But at this time, everyone was eagerly waiting. Report: Captain Marco, the Phoenix who went to scout, is back. At this time, someone on the watchtower at the top of the ship's pole shouted. Go and pull it up. Diamond Jozu said, and then sent someone to the side of the ship to pull up the person below. Marco's face was complicated and his brows were furrowed, making his already gloomy eyes even more uncomfortable. Dad, I found out. Marco's mouth was dry, but he still wanted to tell Daddy and everyone the urgent news. Dry this bowl of wine first. Whitebeard pushed the big bowl out of his hand. Yes, thank you Daddy. Marco didn't delay, he gulped down the wine, and after drinking, he couldn't wait to put down the big bowl. Captain Roger is dead. What? Captain Roger is really dead? Was Marine caught and executed? How can this happen? We can't believe how Marine is capable of capturing Captain Roger. I don't believe it. I'm going to go to Marine to confirm in person. I want to see people die and see corpses. Everyone said in a single word, sharpening their knives. They all want to set off immediately, and then drive the ship directly into the Marine fleet, and fight Marine to the death. Really? How did he die? Whitebeard said after taking a few gulps. A lot of things happened later. Captain Roger was not killed by Marine. The situation was chaotic at the time. Lu Yunshen had already appeared in the field, and was going to save Roger on the high platform, but first didn't expect Marine Admiral Sengoku and our mortal enemy Garp was actually there. These two people who had reached the level of Admiral directly attacked Lu Yunshen. But Lu Yunshen defeated them in one fell swoop. Marco described the thrilling scene in great detail, but there were also mistakes in some places, because these were not what he saw with his own eyes, and most of them were inquired from others, who came too late. In the end, Roger himself hit the edge of the knife. Everyone sighed when they heard this. Captain Roger is indeed an admirable temperament. The reason why Whitebeard Edward Newgate became friends with this man and regarded him as a confidant was precisely because he saw this man's forthright character. But now, Roger was too worried about Qin Luo's safety, so he went so far as to directly sacrifice yourself, so as not to implicate Qin Luo. It is true that success is also Xiaohe and Xiaohe is also Xiaohe. Lu Yun took Roger's body and where did it go? Whitebeard asked. Disappearance. I asked all the people nearby, and they didn't know where Lu Yun went. But they were seen eaten by a huge whale, Marco said. Chapter 267 4 Old Stars. Okay, this is the path that Roger chose himself. Come on, brothers, have a blast and have a drink. The era of the great pirate is coming. Whitebeard listened to Marco's description, especially when Roger was executed, the sentence that he shouted out, the words that caused a sensation in the world, would definitely make pirates all over the world go crazy. However, for a mysterious man like Lu Yun, there is naturally no such ridiculous thing as being eaten by a whale. It must be just a rumor, so he simply doesn't care about it. The era of the great pirates. Originally everyone was waiting for the battle, but suddenly Father Whitebeard laughed wildly and let his brothers drink happily, as if Roger's death was something to celebrate. Of course they would not think that, Father Whitebeard. If you are really happy for Roger's death, then it can only be to celebrate the era of the great pirates that Dad Whitebeard said. Coming soon. Could it be that there will be more pirates in the future? Will they pirates rise in the sea? The haze in everyone's heart was immediately blown away by the carnival in front of them, because carnival is always the favorite of pirates. Mariajoy, Holy Land of the World Government, Reunion of the Gorosei, 5 Elders. A man wearing a cloak of justice, with a frown and an M-shaped beard, walked to the gate with a dark face. Kong is extremely depressed. I just received the bad news from the grandson of Garp in Logatown. As a result, I just hung up and called in again. It turned out to be the contact person of Gorosei, 5 Elders. Other party didn't say a single shit, and directly told Kong to go from the Marine headquarters to the Holy Land Mariajoy to meet Gorosei, 5 Elders. Dong dong. Come in. A very dignified voice came from inside. Kong pushed open the door, and the first thing he saw was the remaining 4 Gorosei, 5 Elders. Due to their long-term positions in high positions and easy manipulation of the world situation and other people's lives and deaths, all of the Gorosei, 5 Elders gave people a sense of arrogance. It felt like the 4 were all casually standing by the window or sitting at the table, but they were all staring at Kong, presumably having been waiting here for a while. These 4 people are usually very busy. The reason why they can wait for Kong here is mainly because they want to get news of Lu Yun. You must know that the aftershocks of Lu Yun's destruction of the Holy Land have not subsided, and Lu Yun directly killed one of them, Gorosei, 5 Elders number 5. So much so that there are only 4 of them now. The remaining 4 Gorosei, 5 Elders are here, although it is not apparent that they are actually trembling inside. Because the existence of Lu Yun is like telling them that the dead person is their role model in the future. After seeing Lu Yun, who came to the Holy Land last time, wearing a black robe, Lu Yun is auspicious. This image has become their nightmare for a lifetime. Lu Yun shattered the myth of their immortality. Lu Yun was like a god of death, reminding them that they might die at any time, and Lu Yun would personally wield the sickle in his hand to harvest the heads of the 4 of them. Roger from Logatown is dead, have you confirmed it? Among the 4 old stars, a man with curly white hair, a white beard with pung song, a flat hat and a scar on the left side of his face, sat on one side, leaning on his hands using crutches. He looked directly at Kong and asked. It was Sengoku and Garp who were imprisoned, and they didn't return. But after hearing their briefing, they saw Roger bled to death with several knives on his body, but the body was. Kong replied, and before he could finish his answer, he was killed by a bald man. The old man grabbed the conversation. You mean you haven't confirmed whether Roger is completely dead? The body has been robbed. Do you still want to be a marshal? Said the bald old man. Yes, Kong said. Yes, it's your mother's size. Do you want me to remove you? The bald old man couldn't help but explode. The bald old man was the one who was controlled by Qin Luo through Bitianshan. Of course, he hoped to remove Kong and replace him with someone who was incompetent, so that Qin Luo would be at ease. You Marines are ineffective. It is inevitable that the world government has ideas. I hope you can understand. We are looking forward to seeing your Marines can make a difference. Don't let the pirates go unpunished. A man in a dark blue suit, he with long straight white hair and a long beard, he came out and said, haha. If the Marine can't be done, change it. I think this year's Marine is the worst one. The bald old man continued to hurt. Okay, Kong, tell me what Lu Yun is trying to do. Why did he take the pirate Roger's body? Where is Lu Yun now? Said the flat-headed old man who spoke earlier. This man is the first elder of the Gorosei, 5 Elders. This is not known for the time being. Kong answered truthfully. Then let CP9 go to check. Haven't you woken up? Where's the ability to do things? The bald old man is a shit stick. I know you don't need to teach this. Kong was completely fired up, and I was blown away. Quickly come up with a solution to the evil thief Lu Yun. We can't let him go unpunished any longer. Another person who had been silent for a long time interjected. The golden man's face was filled with a touch of anxiety. The scar on his chest was faint due to excitement. Pain. Double the bounty. Invite the world's bounty hunters to harass this kid Lu Yun. People who provide information to Marine will also be rewarded. Roger created an era of great pirates, and we simply created it. A big bounty era, said the flat-haired number 1 elder. I don't think this method works. It will only make Lu Yun even more proud. In my opinion, it is ignored on the surface. Secretly we will send more people to arrest Lu Yun. The bald old man looked at the wind direction. In the unfavorable direction of the convective cloud. Hurry up and stop the exit. I didn't expect that. I was only halfway through when I saw the flat-hat elder number 1 cast an unfriendly look. Kong, what's the matter with arranging to draw Chin Luo to attack Lu Yun? Isn't this kid's family very mysterious? Hurry up and check it out for me. We must uproot these vicious guys. The blonde man asked. Isn't CP9 doing a thorough investigation? Kong said. CP9 belongs to government intelligence agencies and is not under the control of Marine. The two are still in a competitive relationship. Kong, hurry up and contact Chin Luo. The old man with the flat hat said, go down. By the way, ask CP0 to come in for me. Kong felt that he was here to take anger, and used it as a punching bag for these bastards. Nothing was resolved but he was punished in vain. But Kong was still 3.5 and could smell the unusual smell in the air that treats Lu Yun. There is a saying in their Marine's famous saying, you can't escape to the ends of the earth. Feels like a nightmarish feeling for the remaining 4 Gorosei, 5 elders now. Thinking about what Garp explained to him just now, it feels more and more that the remaining 4 Gorosei, 5 elders have begun to reach some kind of consensus. East Blue Syrup Village is a peaceful island village. People live here at sunrise and sunset, and live a primitive and natural life. This is a poor town. Generally, few pirates pay attention to this place, and of course Marine is also the same. Yasop is a person who has been in this village since childhood, but he always yearns for the sea and wants to see what the outside of the village is like, because only in the wind and rain can he grow into a real man. Chapter 268 Great Pirate Era. The Great Bounty Era. He looked at the world outside the village as always, and suddenly there was a roar in the sky, and a message gull flew towards Yasop from somewhere in the sea. Yasop felt very excited. He looks forward to the news of the hard-fought battle in the sea every day. Not long ago, I heard that the Great One Piece King of Pirates Roger was arrested, which made him sad for several days, and finally the latest news came. He hurriedly opened the newspaper and looked it up, and saw the words on it, the most evil pirate Roger will be killed by the neck. One Piece King of Pirates said something on the verge of death that shook the world. If you want my treasure, look for it. Treasure, fame, power, whatever you want, I'll give it to you. He was originally very sad, but for some reason, when he saw the last sentence of One Piece King of Pirates, his emotions were completely boiled, and he almost jumped into the sea with excitement. Ah, I want to share this news with Banshina. The Great Root is waiting for me, calling me. Great Root 13, Dressrosa. It is a small island full of holiday style, surrounded by some beautiful windmills and many flowers that will open as long as the temperature is suitable. In a hotel in a town, all kinds of young couples were singing to their heart's content. One person stumbled out of the hotel because he was dumped by a woman and drank a lot of alcohol. Pat. Suddenly, a large piece of posters blew in from the sea. The face was stuck on his face, and he tore the newspaper off his face in a daze. Glancing at the newspaper headline above, a shiver throbbed across the back of the person, afraid that he might not see clearly, rubbed his eyes and glanced at the newspaper in front of him, and suddenly lost all sense of alcohol. Shouted to the sky. Roger is dead. The vicious pirate Roger is dead. Our world has entered peace again. World peace. Is that so? It's a pity that a pirate died in a good way. Marine escorts our country, so we can be happy here, right? Thanks to the world government. The people around were all immersed in the fun of dating and catching Casey and seducing the second sister-in-law to fight in the field. The news of Roger's death only caused a ripple among them. Inside the palace, Cyrus presented the newspaper in his hand to His Majesty the King. His Majesty the King glanced at it, but said nothing. Your Majesty, why are you not happy about something so worthy of celebration? Asked Cyrus. These things are not important. What worries me is the princess's marriage. However, people in the dark areas of the world were startled with fear, some were sad and some were happy. Roger is dead. One Piece King of Pirates Roger has publicly executed the execution in Logatown. Look, but I don't know who took Roger's body. Who do you think will take Roger's body? Why would Roger's body be taken away? Is there something hidden in it? No, the situation here is very wrong. You see, One Piece King of Pirates said that his wealth is hidden in the end of the Great Route. You said that this person stole the body of One Piece King of Pirates Roger. Is it to get a treasure map? Makes sense. Go right away and find out who took Roger's body. At this time, a man with a piece of black and white on his body came out, and rudely snatched the man's newspaper. Fame, wealth, and power are all at the end of the Great Route. Take the corpse of One Piece King of Pirates Roger from the hands of the stinky boy of the cloud, and we can get Roger's treasure. Hey, you kid, pay attention to me. But when he saw the half-black and half-white man turning his face, the man who was holding the newspaper shivered. You are the Black Ripper. Jack. Oh my God, the super big pirate with a bounty of 800 million, the man who is rumored to only walk in the dark world. This bounty is still the data from 10 years ago. How could I meet here? Before the man could finish speaking, he was directly pierced by Black Jack the Ripper in front of him. Ha ha ha, the reason I walk in the dark is because everyone who has seen me is dead. Let's go, little ones, he said to the air behind him. This group of people hiding in the dark trading port of Lexus rushed out of the bay with a frenzy and entered the sky-blue ocean. The poster dropped. This poster is very strange. It actually fell into the air, and the air sneezed loudly when the poster fell. Fuck, who would dare to attack the lousy Mekong pirates? He picked up the newspaper and saw that it turned out to be a wanted order. Although he couldn't see the expression on his face, it was air after all, but he held it in his hand. The newspaper in front of him trembled involuntarily. Hey, stinky boy, what are you doing here? Immediately afterwards, there was a bang, and when he saw that he didn't respond, he said again, Your mother, you didn't respond when I slapped you, you're watching. Who's wanted is so fascinated. Go tell Captain Blackjack, this poster is so weird. 2.5 billion bounty. What are you stunned for? Go see the captain. 493. Any location updates on this? Actively around Logatown. Yeah, that's why it's strange. This person named Lu Yun, the name is very familiar. Isn't this person the mysterious man who stole the body of One Piece King of Pirates Roger yesterday? Is the treasure really in this person? So the two went to report Black Jack the Ripper. Under the reward, there must be a brave man, and the official rogue of the world government provides extremely accurate positioning services, which saves many pirates the time it takes to find Lu Yun, and naturally more people flock to find Lu Yun. The location is now, what if the blind cat bumps into the dead mouse? Then can't you get 2.5 billion Bailey directly? However, the god of flowing cloud, who caught the world's attention, that is, Chin Luo, is like a good baby at this moment, staying in a place deep in the Dragon Palace, and he is anxiously waiting for something at the door. He moved around uneasily. Stop shaking. The shaking makes my brain hurt. At this time, another Feijuan, dressed very similar to Lu Yun, was sitting beside him and yawning boredly. He likes that set. Don't you know that I'm in a hurry? If you don't let me shake, I'll suffocate to death. Chin Luo said with no bossy demeanor. Chapter 269 Live in the Dark World. What are you doing in such a hurry? You're not going to be a father anymore. I've already died I don't know how many times, but it's still fine now. Feijuan said. You are undead. I believe in Tsunade's medical skills, he can bring Roger back to life. Feijuan finally said seriously, according to his previous personality, he would definitely be cynical, but who is the boss in front of him? Humph. Qin Luo's thoughts flew far away. If someone knew that Roger was not dead, then the world would be fun. He could ask Roger to take him directly to Laugh Tale, the end of the Great Route. After all, he needs points and mysterious power very much now. In order to relieve the depression in my heart just now, as soon as I returned to the Dragon Palace, I summoned Momoshiki, Feijuan and the others. But just now. The points system asks if you want to predict the future development of the plot in advance. As a result of waiting too anxiously, Qin Luo unexpectedly agreed, so the system told Qin Luo. Roger will live in the dark world in the future. System, don't be secretive, what do you mean by this sentence? Qin Luo still didn't understand what the system wanted to express. Could it be that Roger would live underground forever? Can no longer appear in the sight of others? Because Roger must be dead before many people go out to sea, and many people will search for the treasure hidden by Roger. If someone knows that Roger is not dead, it will become a lot of people looking for Roger, not Roger's treasure. You go all the way to the Great Route, and you will know the answer you want. The system said again very stinky. After the answer is completed, the task that directly guides the host to advance is completed. 20,000 points will be deducted from the system points. 200 points left. What? Hey, system, you gave me 2 such rude words, and you have the nerve to deduct 20,000 points from me. Why don't you go grab it? Wrong, it's more efficient than grabbing. Quote. Qin Luo was speechless, it was such a foolish system. Who cares about the information you say? There are many devil fruits and mysterious powers on the Great Route. What else do you need to say? I have absorbed all the mysterious power in the world, don't I know the answer of the world? It's like who doesn't know your mom is a girl. This requires your guidance. The pit system. Ah, I was born. Just as Qin Luo was pondering the predictions given by the system for the next plot, Tsunade screamed in surprise from the door of the room that had been closed. Gave birth. Qin Luo felt inexplicable. What happened suddenly? Not having a baby. Qin Luo hurriedly pushed open the door and went in, and saw Tsunade sitting under the sunset with a cigarette in one hand, smoking a cigarette in comfort. Looking at Qin Luo who entered the room, he was walking towards her. Vice looked very indifferent, completely lost the feeling of being willing to sacrifice their lives for each other just now on the battlefield. Born. Momoshiki, who came in to help, exclaimed excitedly. He turned his head and grabbed Qin Luo again and shouted, hugging Qin Luo's arm and rubbing it with his soft part, "You're going to be a dad. You're going to be a dad." Most people can't guess what Momoshiki is doing. But Qin Luo, who knew Momoshiki well, knew that she was taking the opportunity to molest him again. Nonsense. Who's going to be a father? Qin Luo's face was black. The current situation was obviously that Roger was rescued, and Roger's consciousness had recovered. Luyun, One Piece King of Pirates. Roger suddenly called Qin Luo with a very low voice. Roger, what's the matter? It turns out that there is such a handsome face under your mask, but there is always a very familiar feeling. Roger said. Of course you are familiar with it. My name is Qin Luo, and my external identity is Luyun. Ah, suddenly Roger was short of breath, then passed out in less than a second. Quote. Tsunade, what's going on with this guy? Momoshiki looked at Roger who had regained consciousness just now, and suddenly passed out before he finished speaking for a split second. It was too scary. Can't help but ask Tsunade, a skilled doctor, for advice. Tsunade glanced coldly and said, "You are too many to suffocate this man. Except Qin Luo, everyone else should go out." Eccentric. Fake public and private. Vicious Tsunade. Tsunade's head was covered in black lines, and he shouted at the last Feijuan to speak. Feijuan, you have the guts to say it again. Believe it or not, the old lady has a pain in the sky. Your life is worse than death. Don't, just take it easy. Feijuan has never bluffed his lips. Except for Naruto, who has a full-mouth shield skill, Feijuan has never forgiven anyone in his mouth. Now he encounters the unreasonable Tsunade. Of course it's going to explode. It hurts my feet. Boom. Ding. In just a split second, Tsunade shot up into the sky, kicked it down, and Feijuan pulled out a coquettish scythe from behind. The scythe and the scythe collided with each other, causing the dragon palace to tremble. 3 shakes. Okay, Feijuan, Momoshiki, let's go out. Chinluo watched the battle between Feijuan and Tsunade, and the top priority was to stabilize Roger's injury first. How could Roger pass out when he passed out? Soon only Tsunade and Chinluo were left in the room. Tsunade put his hands on Roger's chest, and a blue chakra emerged, wrapping around Tsunade's hands, and after a while, Roger with a grunt, he woke up. Chinluo, you really know how to play. You make people in this world fear you again and guard you every day, but none of them would have thought that you are still the person the world government wants to win over. This is really an amazing scam. Hi, really hi. Roger complimented Chinluo in the first sentence after waking up. You really take it seriously. In fact, that's what it is, and it's not very powerful. It's you just say a word, let the people all over the world rush into the great root like crazy. The whole world is crazy now just looking for the treasure in your mouth. Roger on this point. You are different from me. I have the belief that I will die. I have done such a thing and made a lot of sacrifices. You are different. You can be light or darkness. If you disappear, you will disappear. Roger sadly, when he was in a coma, he had already thought a lot. He couldn't destroy the coming era of great pirates, otherwise everything before would be in vain. Therefore, even if Roger is alive, he will live underground for the rest of his life, disappearing from everyone's sight, abandoning everything in the past, whether it is his status or family and friends. Chapter 270 Laugh Tale. Actually, you don't have to worry. I'm a very good friend. He can predict the future. Chinluo naturally wouldn't explain his system to Roger. He simply said that he was a very good friend, he said, to solve your current predicament. The method is on the Great Route. The Great Way. I've been the whole way and nothing. Roger said. Is it true that the whole road has been walked? Isn't that the ultimate treasure also seen? Chinluo said suddenly. Well, there's the wealth, the fame, and the power that drives everyone crazy. Why didn't you take it? Guess I collected it from all over the world and put it there, or is it there originally? I guess there are both. With your Roger's character, you must not be a big talker. Since you say that there is crazy wealth, fame and power there, then there must be. But since you went to sea, it has been nothing. It doesn't look like you can accumulate such a treasure, but did you bring any previous loot with you this time? I think you put those in the final treasure. But the final treasure must be quite amazing. I'm curious what's inside. Can you tell me about 620? It's an interesting explanation, but I hope you, like the rest of the pirates, go and see it for yourself. Because there are some things that you can't understand unless you put them in front of you. Those things can't be described in words. Roger, not without a pity, he said, there is indeed such a magical thing in the world. Chinluo, do you believe me? I believe. Chinluo gave Roger a heavy look, and then said calmly. 1,000 reader with 1,000 hamurate. But what is certain is that once a person has those things, he basically has the ability to threaten the rule of the world government, and it is a wealth that can be used up for a few lifetimes. What do you believe? The conversation between the two of you has no substance at all. Tsunade said disdainfully. Ha ha. The two looked at Isho. Roger, your problem is on me. I can save you from living in the dark. Chinluo said. Really? I didn't think of a better way than living underground. The friend I mentioned to you just now is a relatively detached existence in this world. He told me that as long as I set off on the Great Route, I can help you solve this problem. Of course, your friend also has a point. Going to the end of the great route and revealing the great treasure to the world, wouldn't I be equivalent to being alive? Roger laughed heartily, and unconsciously shed tears. Maybe, maybe not. Chin Luo secretly thought that his system wouldn't be so rude, at least he wouldn't write empty checks to himself. Roger, I'm going out first. Whether it's right or not, I'll do it first, I believe I'll do it. Chin Luo said. But in fact, Chin Luo still felt that his system was not very reliable, his points were inexplicably lost, and the information he gave was ambiguous. In the end, it is still necessary to go to the Great Root to find more devil fruits. It is best to find the devil fruit manor, water it every day, and grow a few devil fruits every day. In addition, Chin Luo felt that the environment where Momoshiki and Tsunade were both present seemed strange. So Chin Luo explained a few words and let Feijuan and Tsunade stay here to take care of Roger. A day later, on a ship with a pirate flag with a pink skull tied on its head, the parts that emerged from the top of the skull were the symbols, male sign, and female sign, for men and women. This is a very strange one. There are more than 20 men and women, both men and women, running back and forth on this boat. On the opposite side of this ship, a large sea king with a length of about 7 or 8 meters has appeared. It seems to be an abo snake. It has a strange thread shape all over its body. It spits out snake letters from time to time. Captain Emporio Ivankov, what can we do with this? Said the man in a pink dress on the ship at this time, with a woman's bun enchantingly hovering above his head, and he spoke with a whimper. Get off the boat. This large sea king is my nemesis. It can make my crew grow out of chests and turn them into flat chests. It's our nemesis. The captain, known as Emporio Ivankov, is a hairy, fluffy and exploding, with purple lipstick. She's wearing a topless full bikini and women's cutout lace over her feet. This is the captain of the Shemale clan, the revolutionary cadre after that. When he said this, didn't he notice that he had no breasts at all? No, Captain, several of us have already been eaten by this large sea king. It's too difficult to deal with, and it doesn't matter about the flat chest. The ladyboy with pink memories called. Flat chest. I fork you, uncle. I am flat-chested and I am proud to reduce the crime rate for the country. That's it. Eva pondered, what tricks should I use? Is it the ebulio estrogen that makes it a woman? Or did the ebulio testosterone make him a man? It's a life problem. Captain, let's go. We can't beat it. The ladyboy of pink memories urged. Lightning boy, don't worry. Hip, hop, wait for my move, Ipulio facial growth hormone. Inject it with facial growth hormone, look at me. Between hip hop, Eva made a decision. From her own hands a long whip was drawn out, and the long whip was touched like a long snake. Squeak. A venom was sprinkled on the dumb-headed, serpentine sea kings. The purple poison slowly devoured the serpentine sea kings. The venom turned into a poisonous mist, slowly wriggling, and turned into a substantive spray. Not sure what has changed inside. Did you fall? Lightning boy asked. Should have fallen. Hi. Suddenly, the snake-shaped sea king purred and absorbed the poisonous mist, and its head directly became 5 times as big as before. It turned into a king cobra directly, like an evolved Aberdeen. On the big head, there are 2 eye threads unique to the king cobra on the left and right sides. Ha kai! A mouthful of purple smoke burst out, and soon surrounded the fleet. The toxins in the sky began to spread around and into the sea. And a huge whale was slowly swimming past the edge of this sea area. Suddenly, I felt that the water in this sea area had some strange smells, and I smelled some strange smells in the air, so I sneezed out, and the whale's back huffed. The water splashed all over the place, and the water accumulated and it was sprayed out like a fountain. Chin Luo inside was sunbathing on top of his head, Momoshiki was wearing a bikini on the side, and was about to put on sunscreen, and then lay beautifully under the beech tree. Momoshiki, let my brother help you. Chapter 271. I have 100 ways to make you automatically throw your arms around me. Stinky wolf. Go away. HMPH, if you don't promise me, believe it or not, there are 100 ways for you to automatically throw your arms around me. Big Satyr. Woohoo, the Big Satyr bullied me. With all the martial arts, he wanted to bully a good woman like me, and a weak woman like me. Woo woo, oh, it's so heavy. The cute Momosugi even touched the 2 killer weapons on his chest while talking, and then looked like he was about to fall, revealing a deep career line. Chinluo, who was watching from the side, almost turned into a Kainu Kasuski's Fire Fist Magma, and his body was hot. Suddenly Laboon sneezed, Chinluo just staggered, and then he couldn't help rushing forward, and then he was drenched in water by the upflowing water, and flew out directly from the hole in the whale's back. Momosugi. And Momosugi flew out with Chinluo. Momosugi was still wearing a bikini. If others see it, then Chinluo will suffer. Gravity. Using gravity to deepen the gravitational force between himself and Momosugi, Momosugi flew towards him soon. Chinluo, who was flying in the sky, glanced around, and his first reaction was, "Wowzow, shouldn't he travel to the world of Pokemon?" Right in front of him is the giant big-headed serpent sea king that looks like the Arbo monster. At this time, it is wrapping around a pirate ship. This pirate ship seems to be swaying with the wind and waves in a storm. A lonely boat that can capsize at any time. Chinluo is so angry. He was basking on the beach just now, and Momosugi is still beating his thighs. Just when he wanted to further discuss his ideals in life and a happy life in the future, the stinky snake actually smoked the stench to the bottom of the sea. The old man doesn't show his power. Do you think he is a sick cat? So Chinluo changed his clothes and instantly changed into the appearance of Luyun. At the same time, he also put Xiao's cloak on Momosugi and flew to the snake-shaped Sea King. Mask Boy, let's go. This snake is weird. At this time, Eva in the distance saw a young man who suddenly appeared, and his eyes lit up. After all, due to the fast flight, the strong wind tightened Chinluo's clothes, showing a perfect and robust figure. This is definitely the deadly weapon of the Shemale family. The way this man appears is so different. He can fly on the sea, and he has a perfect figure, so masculine, it really gives people a feeling of wanting to go crazy. Eva sincerely felt that the man in front of her must have come to save her. After all, his charm is so great. But he couldn't beat this weird Orochi himself, so he didn't think this man with a good figure in front of him could beat this snake-shaped Sea King. Boy, you are too thin, you are not his opponent, hurry up, leave me alone, go by yourself. Eva cried. Damn it, you can't be Emporio Ivankov. It's called Shemale Eva. Chinluo saw at a glance a purple afro, red lips, and a bikini and lace pantyhose standing in the purple mist. Weird man. That's really, the picture is too beautiful to describe. Chinluo quickly covered Momosugi's eyes, so that the fairy-like Momosugi could not be frightened by this demon man. Wow, you and I are really destined. We seem to have met somewhere, right? Mask Boy. Eva sneered directly when she met the boy she liked. Wow, of course you've seen me. I've seen posters flying all over the sky. I've been unlucky recently. I don't know which guy is updating his position all the time on his wanted list. When the place showed up, he met a group of people who wanted to hit the shit. Although Chinluo raised his hand, he could make them smashed to ashes, but it was still annoying to meet these people. And the most terrifying thing is like ants, endless, crushing one after another, forcing Chinluo to hide in Laboon's body. In other words, this guy is also seeking his own bounty. After all, it is 2.5 billion Bailey. Boy, don't be brave. Eva said. He didn't know who the masked man in front of him was, but after turning his head around, he remembered this man, wearing a black robe, floating clouds, and a mask on his face. Can't go wrong, this person is Lu Yun. That's 2.5 billion Baileys. Eva smiled wickedly. Hey Captain, that snake-shaped Sea King has attacked our ship. Lightning said. Big strange snake, I won't play with you anymore, I have more important things to do. Eva mysterious issue, an exciting hormone injected into her body grew several times at once, and her hands made the action of super, and then the strong muscles are exposed. It's time to tame the beast. The big monster gets down on the ground. Pa-da! It was still the original long whip, but with this flick, it was thrown out of Eva's hand, and the rope hit the snake directly, and the big monster got a big head. Crooked, the whole snake will directly become demented. Big weird snake, be good, come here, I'll feed you something. Eva ordered Lightning to feed the marine she had just caught. As Marine was released, he immediately scolded, "You scourge of she-males, if Marine was not dealing with the golden lion in the fort at that time, and my admirals were not there, would you have a chance to catch me? I refuse to accept it. Throw in," Eva ordered Lightning. Lightning shouted, "Wow," and immediately threw the marine into the mouth of the big monster. Immediately afterwards, Eva jumped directly from her own boat to the sarcoma on the top of the giant snake's head, and the snake instantly lowered its head to match his movements. "How about it, boy, do you want to follow me?" Tisk tisk, I finally understand. Chin-Luo looked at the rapidly changing situation, and stopped flying towards the snake-shaped sea kings. It was obvious that the snake-shaped sea kings had been tamed. If they passed, he and this Eva would definitely there is a battle. Some fighting women are not suitable for participating. First, they are afraid of danger. Second, the person in front of them is too disgusting. Why, you see that I am very capable, you can't deal with it, right? You see that you are going to send the woman in your hands directly. Haha, it's because you're too ugly, I'm afraid she can't bear to look directly at you. Chin-Luo said calmly. Laboon Laboon. With a few hoots, Laboon swam directly over. Chin-Luo put the woman on top of Laboon's head and urged Laboon to leave. Then Chin-Luo turned around, not pushing too hard, just kicked Eva. Fire cloud legs. You actually used this trick, where did you steal our fire cloud legs? Eva's face changed. After all, a man with a bounty of 2.5 billion Bailey is not a casual man. Can handle it. He now has a friend who is going to do a big thing, but he doesn't have any funds in his hand. At that time, Eva told the friend named Long that as long as he hunted a few more pirates with high bounties, he would have the funds to do a big thing. However, Long seemed to have other plans, so he didn't continue to talk to him. Otherwise, according to his Eva's plan, it was guaranteed that Long would be able to do well now. Chapter 272. I don't know if your mother is a woman. What is your family? Don't rush to talk about it first, let's see if this is the trick. Chin-Luo smiled, the Huiyan legs in this mouth should be the Huiyan legs that Sanji learned from him. In mid-air by rubbing at high speed on the feet and then boosting with armament. Although Chin-Luo won't use armament to increase, but he can use gravitational repulsion to rub against his feet to make fire. It also looks very similar to the fire cloud legs. Don't be ashamed to speak out there, say something about your family, let me tell you, slandering me will cost you a price. Chin-Luo said while floating in the air. What price? Of course it's the price of your life. Your life is handed over to me. Arrogant. Boy, it's not like you can do what you want in this world, there are many things you don't know. Nonsense, doesn't the ghost know that your mother is a woman? Eva whimpered, and the long whip in her hand flashed out. The long whip purple shadow was divided into several lines, and each shadow continued to be divided into multiple shadows. Don't know the truth. 1,000 arrows pierce your heart. Eva swung the whip in her hand faster and more vigorously, and put some poison on his whip, which is a depression hormone. As long as you stab someone, you can make that person feel depressed, always doing things. It's the magic poison that goes wrong. Kill. The long whip suddenly turned into 10,000 poisonous snakes and bit Chin-Luo straight at it. Full repulsion. Almighty push. Chin-Luo frantically threw the power out of his hands once again. After all, these powers were free of money, and they were extremely destructive on a large scale. Immediately, a crack-like water pattern appeared on the sea surface with Chin-Luo as the core. Originally, the water was square and round, and there would never be a crack like the ground. It was just because Chin-Luo's lethality was too strong, he directly smashed the water. When the sea water is separated, it is still separated like a crack. Ding ding ding. 10,000 venomous snakes slammed head-on with these crazy repelling forces, making a ding-ding sound, and those thousands of long whip-whip shadows seemed to freeze in an instant, stopped, and quickly decreased in mid-air, and then became a long whip. The she-male will die for me. Qin Luo leapt directly over, wanting to end him with one hand. The giant snake sprays poison. Eva, who was in a hurry, hurriedly signaled the big monster snake under her feet to spray a poisonous mist, and the surrounding area was immediately wrapped in a purple poisonous mist. Qin Luo could only temporarily give up the pursuit of Eva, and raise the repulsive force of his body to the extreme with his backhand, so that he can directly shield the tiny smoke in it, so that these poisonous mists cannot be approached. Stinky boy, can't you see me? Ha ha ha, just wait for the poisonous mist to slowly eat away your energy. Then you will know what these poisonous mists are for. Ha ha ha, Eva laughed wildly. But the next second made him stunned. What kind of picture he saw. If he had known it would be such a result, even if he killed him, he would not have come to provoke this 2.5 billion Bailey man. The picture in front of him is guaranteed to be what he has seen in his life. Among them, the most terrifying. I saw a piece of red eyes suddenly flashing out of the purple fog before, and those eyes were wafting with chilling fear from a vampire, and then the eyes seemed to be summoning the flames of demons from hell. The poisonous mist burned directly at the place where he looked directly, producing a black and ominous flame. Amaterasu. Amaterasu all over the sky. Amaterasu burns the sky. These names are all the names Qin Luo came up with later, because his kaleidoscope writing wheel eyes are full-level eyes, so all he can use are top-level energy, and he has a steady stream of chakra energy, so he is now full of inexhaustible power. Just adjust the energy of the eyes to the full level, and burn all the purple mist around them directly from below. What a strange picture this is. Originally, the entire venue was surrounded by fog and seawater. No matter how ferocious the flames were, they would not be able to play a role here. Burn directly, and the more you burn, the more prosperous. Beep. Beep beep beep. The flames quickly spread and grew from the small stab at the beginning, burning all the 20 cubic meters of purple poisonous mist that the huge monster snake on the sea sprayed out. How can there be such a terrible flame in this world? Poor Eva was stunned by the sight in front of her. Why, don't you still have a lot of intrigues? Don't you still have vicious tricks that you haven't used yet? Qin Luo walked towards this person named Eva step by step. In my heart, I was constantly thinking about how to use this person in front of me to obtain devil fruits. After all, Eva could save a patient who could not be treated by anyone in the Kamabaka kingdom, and became the king of that country. In addition, Roger's injuries were relatively serious, and he might need this person to help. So he now sees if he can first save the person from the Kamabaka kingdom, and then ask the royal family to find a devil fruit. Every time he saves some people, he needs to find a devil fruit for Qin Luo, so that not only can you save a lot of people, but you can also have a lot of devil fruits in your pocket, so you don't have to worry about your system points. It's a great plan. Eva was completely fooled by the opponent's ability. Even if this person came in person, he might not be able to get any benefits from him if he exerted his full strength. I don't believe in evil. Excited hormones. Eva gave herself an injection, and the purple liquid was quickly injected into her body, and the muscle pimples all over her body suddenly swelled. Unrepentant. Amaterasu planned to subdue this person, but now, it seems that the situation is not right. This person is very short-tempered. What? 5.5 Before Eva could shout, her whole body was directly enveloped by the ominous black flames. The scorching Amaterasu flames burned him until he was unconscious, and Qin Luo dissipated the flames. Laboon, lock this person up. Qin Luo kicked the dying Eva into Laboon's stomach. Your name is Lightning, right? You'd better prepare 40 devil fruits for me. Otherwise, your captain will be sitting in prison with me. Remember that if you want to find me, go to the place marked with fiery red clouds, like Fishman Island, that's the chassis of my hood. Qin Luo woke up the dumbfounded Lightning and told him the ultimatum. Of course you'd better move faster, because I don't know when I'm unhappy. Maybe I'll kill someone, or throw your captain into the sea. Chin Luo gave the other party one, "You made me very happy" sad expression. Chapter 273 You promised. Master, be careful, those venoms are dangerous. Baby, don't be afraid of having a husband. Big satyr, pay attention when you speak. Yes lady. Quote. Go to hell. Yes ma'am, I'll go now. Chin Luo kept talking to Momoshiki. It was obvious that molesting was good for physical and mental health and coordinated the relationship between husband and wife. The snake-shaped sea kings were originally tamed by that Eva, and now a powerful master like Eva was directly killed by the man flying over in front of him, which made this Orochi somewhat jealous, but when he saw the appearance of the man flying directly over, he couldn't help it. He opened his mouth and ate it. Hiccup. The serpentine sea king swallowed the character who had just been scared to the point of trembling, and there was an unreal feeling, such a change was too strange. As soon as the snake-shaped sea king ate Chin Luo, his face immediately turned purple. I saw a thumping sound coming from the belly of the snake-shaped sea king, followed by a puff, as if a balloon had been blown up. Luo took Laboon and Momoshiki away, otherwise they would all get into trouble at this time. After a while, the bloody rain was over, and then a thin and slender young man appeared on the spot, with a slender stature, and in the bloody rain, he was dressed in coarse linen but was spotless, showing the coldness of his body to the fullest. However, with a face that looks like a Korean oppa, no one thinks it's bad no matter how cold it is. Laboon. Chin Luo relied on his own repulsive force to form a coat on the outside of his body, so even if the various acid venoms in Orochi's stomach could not corrode him, he just supported him. The belly of the broken sea king came out. Momoshiki helped me wake him up. Entering Laboon's stomach island, Chin Luo asked Momoshiki to wake up the marine. While, with 2 vomits, Marine said that the venom in his mouth was spit out. Are you Marine? Are you Lu Yun? Chin Luo and the ragged Marine in front of him spoke at the same time, but the former was calm, while the person behind was trembling all over. What's the panic? I won't eat people for no reason. Chin Luo originally wanted to appease him, but who knows? Marine was so frightened that he immediately knelt down. I beg Lu Yun to let me go, I have old people and young people. You have a lot of people, don't eat me. When did I say that I would eat people? Even if I eat people, I wouldn't choose a person like you. You were still talking just now. Be quiet. Chin Luo listened annoyed. I ask one question, you answer one, I am satisfied, and I will naturally let you go. Good. You said just now that you Marine and Golden Lion are at war. Yes. Where is the fight? Why, how long has it been? Golden Lion suddenly killed Marineford 2 hours ago and called Sengoku to fight. How did One Piece King of Pirates Roger get killed? How did Marine get caught? But after all, he felt to kill One Piece King of Pirates in East Blue, the weakest East Blue in the 4 seas, is a slander against pirates. Quote. That's interesting. Thinking about Lao Tzu destroying the Holy Land and breaking through the infinite hell, it seems that I haven't gone to the Marine Fortress, let alone the Marine headquarters. And the most important thing, what makes Chin Luo very painful is that his points are very tight now, and he needs a lot of devil fruits. One devil fruit only has 800 points, which is too slow, and it takes 4 or 5 to upgrade a full level. Million points. This gap is too big. Okay, let's go, Chin Luo said. Should I go? Marine looked confused. Where am I, and where am I going? Laboon, help him, Chin Luo called out, and then kicked the man into the water mixed with gastric juice and seawater. Laboon sneezed and sprayed the water inside and the Marine directly above his head. Go out. Master, where are we going now? Momoshiki glanced at the man who was burned into black coke, and said with lingering fears. Go, Marineford. 2 hours ago, Marineford, Marine Headquarters, Frontal Fortress. Now Sengoku is very depressed, he just received a call from Marshal Kong. Kong's violent temper and the anger in his tone are undisguised. Sengoku, what are you doing to eat? Ah 987. You sent so many people over there, why can't you keep the body of One Piece, King of Pirates? Don't you know how many people are staring at Roger? That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is why you last let Roger speak. How many people go crazy for him when he speaks? Treasure, fame, power, all for you, just go and find it. I tell you, if you can't come up with an effective strategy. Suspension, jail cell, exile, it's all yours. Kong just came out of the Gorosei 5 elders. None of the Gorosei 5 elders are easy to mess with. They take their anger out on Kong, and Kong has nothing to do, so Kong, who is full of anger, can only the anger fell on Sengoku. Yes, what can Sengoku do? I can't beat it, even if I call Garp, it's not the grandson's opponent. If he could choose him, he would rather offer Lu Yun as an uncle than deal with him. This is a killing god. I tell you, this is the best way now. Isn't there a crazy rumor out there saying that the era of the great pirates is coming? You will double the bounty of the most vicious pirates among them, and make all these people become the prey of bounty hunters, and stimulate more people to become bounty hunters to hunt these pirates. You can then catch a few typical bounty hunters, build momentum for the bounty hunters, and make it a big bounty era. Absolutely. Don't lose to Roger. Chapter 275 Arrogant Golden Lion, 1/3. I beg to subscribe. Golden Lion emptied his fingers, and quickly floated behind him to abandon the pirate ship. It poured down and fell in midair. With the help of the acceleration of gravity, it quickly formed a high-altitude object that weighed thousands of pounds. An instant, the Marine Army was immediately suppressed by this overwhelming means of attack. Pat! The pirate ship in the sky crashed down, smashed on the young soldiers and directly crushed them to death. It also fell on the warship and smashed the sails of the marine warship to smashes, and there was a continuous sound of mourning below. You give me enough time. Iron Fist. A black iron fist, under armament, S amplification, smashed straight towards the Golden Lion's forehead like a shooting star. Lion Mighty Ship Roll. The huge abandoned ships that fell in the sky that day suddenly changed their direction in midair, and rolled up a large piece of the hull directly from the original place. The hull was tightly wrapped, like a large Shandong burrito. Rolled up like this, slowly forming a lion's head, with a bloody mouth wide open to reveal sharp teeth. The rest of the wood scum around him was directly attracted by the rolling lion head, and pieces of wood chips were attracted by the strong wind and swept away from him, and the surrounding clouds were directly shaken and shattered. Feeling the vibration from his own hands, Golden Lion knew that his arms had reached the limit. Roar. It spit out this roar, and pushed it out from the left and right sides of the flat chest. The lion's head, which was wrapped by 2 waves of strong vibrations, rushed out, with a furious beard, a bloody mouth, and long fangs, towards the prey. Run away. This Golden Lion actually learned this trick. The expression on Sengoku's face was different, and he felt the energy gushing out from his body, and the wood dross fell from his body. Those were all fallen from the hull, but he opened the protective cover, so it was gone when it fell a meter above his head. Garp Vice Admiral, there is danger. The rest of the Vice Admiral saw it, and roared. What is this move? Iron blocks. Garp didn't expect that the other party had suddenly changed his moves, and directly wrapped his whole body with iron blocks, instantly turning black into a piece of black iron. Keep your head high, and let the storm come more violently. Arrogant Garp laughed wildly. Bump. A streamer of yellow-brown lion head collided with Garp, who was protected by the black iron block, with a bump. With a loud noise, the power of the yellow-brown lion's head was wave after wave, and finally passed on and piled up, eating the iron block directly in one bite. The dense dust enveloped it and spread out from all directions, forming a circle, so that the people outside couldn't see what happened to the people inside. Bump. In that mess of smoke and dust, a loud noise shot out directly from the smoke and dust, a streamer inlaid with yellow and white. The lion head directly bit the white marine, the wind of justice, and the Garp directly hit the marine headquarters. The marine ship directly in front of the fortress. Frame. PFF'd. Garp was directly slammed into the ground by the huge lion roll, and a marine warship below was directly knocked out by Garp. Garp continued to fall in, and shot the entire marine ship directly. Garp, you're still too tender. I didn't even do anything to you, and you were blown away by me. Garp, the chicken, seeing that he was blown away by himself and hit the bottom of the sea with a lion's might. Garp, the golden lion, felt unusually excited. Sengoku, why don't you fight with me? Golden Lion looked at Sengoku with red eyes. Sengoku wore a crane hat and a goatee, and he was known as the resourceful general, and glanced at the bottom of the marine ship indifferently. So Sengoku ignored Golden Lion. In his eyes, Garp beat the man more than enough. How dare you ignore me? Golden Lion, who was furious with his presence, threw his hands wildly, shaking the abandoned ship with both hands, as if his hands had the ability to attract other abandoned ships, and quickly attracted the surrounding abandoned ships together. There was a rattling sound inside, and it was wrapped. Kill. 2 earth-brown lion heads rolled up the tens of millions of abandoned ships, dragged their long tails, and set off directly from the Golden Lion's side. Under the double increase of strong gravitational force and gravitational acceleration, it directly became a terrifying level. Energy ball. The 2 huge lion heads were thrown out, and they slammed into the high-rise building in Marineford as if their eyes were red. With a loud bang, the 2 huge lion heads directly smashed into the high-rise conference room, and the pitch-black black ball directly bit. As Sengoku pushed back, dozens of pillars behind him were directly broken or a hole was opened, which shows the power of the 2 lion heads. 2 defeated generals, I won't let you die so easily. Get up for me. Golden Lion will kill with a single blow, standing at the front with majesty. Wow, the Golden Lion is so awesome. It's our idol. These so-called Marines, without beating, go back to the countryside to grow sweet potatoes. Boss, we don't want some big ships anymore. It would be better if we just stationed here in Marineford. Otherwise, this place will be directly under our jurisdiction. Golden Lion opened his hands as if the MLM boss appeared. The audience cheered, his hands tightened and the audience quieted down. Golden Lion said, "Okay, you marine scum, you don't deserve to have such a strong and impregnable marine fortress. You guys not worthy of One Piece, King of Pirates Roger. I will tell you today that the only one who can bully Roger is Shiki. Quote, I now declare that Marineford, the former marine fortress, is under the jurisdiction of my Golden Lion pirate. For generations to be named Jin." As soon as Golden Lion opened his mouth, he changed Marineford's name to Jin in one sentence. From the abandoned ship behind the Golden Lion, many pirates standing on the ship suddenly emerged, and the pirates shouted, "Golden Lion! A new generation of One Piece, King of Pirates." Golden Lion immediately smiled when he heard it. After all, when he fought against Roger, he was directly defeated by the sudden weather. Now this time Marine killed Roger, but in the end, Golden Lion drove Marine out of Marineford. By then, everyone in the world will already know who is the real One Piece, King of Pirates in this world. Fistbone Meteorite. Just when Golden Lion thought the whole world was cheering and sending flowers to him, a black figure suddenly came from the abandoned marine on the ground. At the same time, a golden light lit up in the ruins of the marine conference room, and the golden light shone in all directions, directly shaking the waste away from the side. Bang! The pillars with a diameter as large as one person encircled, were directly bounced by the golden light. Poor Golden Lion doesn't know yet that he has provoked 2 of the most warlike men in Marine. Chapter 276 Fighting 2 Admirals. What is that, Captain? Glittering. A burst of golden light can shake all that place apart. How much power is required, and what kind of ability is this? It is said that Garp has the strength of Marine Admiral, but he is not willing to be an admiral. Although Sengoku the Buddha has always been called the resourceful general, he showed his super strength when he fought Liu Yunshen last time. Absolutely not. Quote. 3 short-eyed people on the boat started chattering. Give me the gun, the Golden Lion suddenly yelled. A group of people who followed Golden Lion immediately shivered with fright. They all knew that Golden Lion had a brutal temperament. Of course, these things were said by them behind the back of Golden Lion's back. I didn't expect that the disaster would come out of my mouth now. When Golden Lion spoke, everyone shivered. One person took out a gun tremblingly from his arms. Bang bang bang. The more he listened, the more annoyed Golden Lion became. He took the gun directly from the man and fired 3 bullets in a row. The 3 bullets hit the top of the heads of the 3 people who had been discussing heatedly just now. Grow others' ambition and destroy your own prestige. 300 Golden Lion blew away the black smoke from the musket. Captain, be careful. At this moment, a black iron bullet burst out from below. Fist bone meteorite. Garp frantically threw out the iron bullets in his hand. He continuously received the cannonballs from the ammunition depot from behind him, and directly threw the ignited cannonballs as if they were shot balls through his strong wrist. Victory Cannonball. This hand, from the start to the thrust, the speed and power are more terrifying than ordinary cannons. Garp, are you too conceited? Such a slow cannonball, you want to use it to hit the Golden Lion flying in the sky. You are not joking. Golden Lion laughed wildly, even if the cannonballs flew fast in the eyes of others, but at a level like Golden Lion, you don't need to care about the shells that can dodge the opponent with a single flash. Flash. Cannonball was approaching rapidly, and watching a cannonball bombard it, the Golden Lion swayed left and right to dodge, and the cannonball fell into the air. Shiki. At the same time, there was a huge roar from another Golden Light group. Sengoku was obviously completely stimulated by the wanton Golden Lion, and a man with Golden Light walked out from there. The Golden Light above was modeled down, and the Golden Light was still growing. The arms gradually increased, the waist of the body gradually formed a pumpkin shape, and the face became more and more solemn. I won't let you be arrogant. I won't let you be arrogant in front of Marine, who represents justice. Your arrogance is the most important thing you should repent of in prison in the future. Buddha's shock wave. A golden light flashed out, and a large piece of golden light emerged from his cheeks. The big hands full of strength pushed out flat-chested, and a burst of ripples bombarded from his arm. Wave. The shock wave left the palm of the hand, and together with the debris, wood, and abandoned hulls that were driving around, it was directly driven to fly up, and the pillars and hard marble stones that collided directly with the shock body were also directly turned into fragments by the shock wave. These fragments immediately it became part of the shock wave again, forming a large mass behind the shock wave. Wow, what is that? Such a strong shock wave. The people on the pirate ship were originally flying in the air. Many times they seemed to be doing nothing because their captain was too strong and they didn't have the time to exert their strength at all. In the same way, you only need to sing the praises and wave the flag. Sengoku. Garp. Golden Lion can dodge Garp's iron bullets, but in the face of these shock waves from Sengoku, Golden Lion instantly has a feeling of suffocation. For nothing else, just because that shock wave gave Golden Lion a strong sense of oppression. I will never be afraid of you paper tiger-like Marines. Golden Lion hurriedly pulled over several abandoned pirate ships and added more powerful energy to them to form a huge long dragon like a poisonous snake. Viper. The sky instantly became darker, and the light from the sky was directly obscured by the hulk attracted by the Golden Lion. The huge hull combined into a huge long dragon, covered with golden light. Bump. One ship after another, lined up with long snakes. The snake head raised its head directly and slammed into the shock wave that hit the front. A dazzling golden light flickered from the place where it hit, and there was violent friction, and the golden shock wave directly pierced into the interior of the poisonous snake. Boom. Even so, the long snakes that were originally piled up by these abandoned pirate ships seemed vulnerable under the golden shock, and even were directly penetrated by the shock wave of the Buddha, but it has greatly slowed down those forces. Razor. Rankyaku, Tempest Kick. Moon Step. Iron Fist. But Golden Lion is not only facing an Admiral Strength opponent, there is another Admiral Strength Garp in the Vice Admiral rank. A gliding trace floated in the air, and a huge black border flew past from above. A black iron fist pierced directly from Garp's body. As soon as he approached the Golden Lion, fierce fist, it slammed into his face. Garp, you actually attacked. Looks like you haven't died. The golden lion is not afraid, and flickers to the higher sky. Hu Kai. The helpless Garp, because the Renkyaku Tempest Kicken Razor had already determined the direction of the glide when they were used, so they were not as flexible as the golden lion in the sky. So as the golden lion avoided the two, they directly staggered. Garp he also missed the best fighting opportunity, and he didn't even encounter golden lion at all. Golden lion don't run if you have the ability. Garp was very helpless when he missed. Lion Way ship roll. Dozens of abandoned ships in the sky were entangled again by the golden lion, and they were slowly forming a huge hull. The black hull directly cast a shadow on the ground again. Garp frowned and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Damn it, I'm fighting with you. Garp makes one of the craziest decisions yet. He flew to the marine warship again, and as soon as he got there, he immediately asked someone to send him boxes of iron bullets. A person set fire next to him, and the iron bullet that Garp was holding in his hand began to project frantically. Fistbone Meteor Group. Shish. Dozens of shells were delivered to Garp in turn. Garp seemed to be a discus-throwing machine. He charged back and pushed it forward at a 45-degree angle. On the huge hull, one by one bombarded directly in the past. Chapter 277 Conspiracy. Boom. The shells hit those gigantic hulls with precision. However, are you playing a little kid's house? Do you dare to play a little more? Such a small iron ball wants to compare with the lion heads rolled up by several big ships. Are you brainless, don't you think? Don't you know what it means to be overpowered? Golden Lion laughed wildly. Roger saw that. I was the best in the world. One person against Marine S2 Admiral. He didn't lose any advantage at all. He still crushed his opponent directly. Roger, I will ask you if you will accept it. Golden Lion laughed wildly, and the attraction of the devil fruit was continuously transmitted to several large ships through Golden Lion's hands. The abandoned ships directly crushed each other and compressed each other. As the ships continued to wrap, they vibrated. The surrounding air has directly turned into an unreal existence. The clouds shattered and the sky cast huge shadows. It's not over yet, Golden Lion, don't be complacent. Garp threw off his Marine Wind Justice cloak, exposing his bare arms, and screaming, Fistbone Meteor Group. Dozens of iron bullets shot up from Garp's hands again. Like a black eagle flying high, it bravely charged into the opponent's position, directly hitting and banging several times. This time, more than 10 shells were fired. Whether it was the first or the second, they hit the ship at almost the same time. Bang bang bang. The fire was shining, and the dark ships that had been standing for many years were set on fire. The Golden Lion's boat roll really turned into a golden fire-filled boat roll, revealing a hideous lion's head. Billy, the flammable hull is completely set on fire. It kept burning after being ignited. Golden Lion, I'll give you a braised lion head. Garp felt relieved when he saw such a scene, and took out a treasure that he had not used for many years from behind him. Garp just went to the underground warehouse and took out a huge black iron ball, which is usually used by Garp to practice wrist strength, but now it has to be used to deal with Golden Lion. Extra large black ball. The black ball, almost the size of a marine warship, was directly lifted by Garp's hands, charged back, and thrown at a 45-degree angle. Whoosh. Sailboat to go forward 7 or 8 meters. Garp's crazy iron fist. The huge iron ball shot straight into the sky. Golden Lion felt that he was being bullied. This person's name was clearly aimed at and mocking him. His original move was called Lion Power Ship Roll, but now the other party has changed his name to Braised Lion Head. Isn't it just scolding yourself for being red hot? Tolerable or unbearable? The braised lion head in the hands of the Golden Lion commander roared out, and the 4 abandoned ships merged into an object the size of a marine warship, forming a huge ship that covered the sky and was pulled out by the Golden Lion's gravity. Directly under the action of gravitational acceleration, the constant falling and rapid increase of its own speed and impact force. Go. Go. The crew around Marine were all blown up by this scene. When have I seen such a magnificent scene? The boat roll was still burning, and a lot of scum from the sparks could be blown directly into people's faces with the strong wind. Captain wins. Marine wins. A burst of pride was born in everyone's heart. Whether it was Marine or a pirate, they couldn't help shouting wildly, cheering for their side. Boom. With a loud bang, the braised lion's head slammed into the midair with the extra-large iron ball of the same size. A fiery red light and a pitch-black light rubbed fiercely in midair, and the damaged sparks and wood fell directly in midair, turning into a sea of fire after another. Bump. A strong golden light spread out from the two places where they collided, forming a huge shock wave like the shock wave of the Buddha. The surrounding clouds were directly shattered, and a group of birds in the distance were also affected by the shock wave. Stunned by that shock wave. Yes, it's Conqueror Haki. Several of the pirates on the ship had already seen the Haki of the Golden Lion, and at this time, it was naturally the Haki issued by the Golden Lion. As soon as they recognized this Haki, they wanted to turn over and run away, but the invisible shock wave directly covered them. Before they stepped out of the air, they fell down and fainted. So strong. Marines on the Marine warship below escaped, because the collision was closer to the Golden Lion pirates. At this time, seeing those pirates fell down in pieces like the wind, Marine they were also in a commotion. Boom. The extra-large iron ball sprinted directly over the Golden Lion's head roll, but this roll was a thick roll of tens of meters, so it lost its strength when it hit halfway, and was easily hit by the Golden Lion. The Golden Lion and the still-awake members of the Flying Sky Pirates just wanted to laugh when they saw this. However, on the other side where their vision was blocked by the huge black ball, a golden light was rising brightly, and the golden light wrapped in shock was Sengoku Admiral, who had transformed into Sengoku the Buddha. Mighty power. The huge halo also trembled as Sengoku the Buddha charged up. Buddha's shockwave. The power in Sengoku's hand exploded slowly. His arms seemed to be getting weaker and weaker, and it was becoming more and more difficult to support him. He felt that he was about to reach his limit. Spread out. 0. The Buddha's shockwave hidden behind the black ball. Golden Lion never thought that the opponent was using a joint attack from the beginning, and Sengoku and Garp cooperated extremely well, to the effect Golden Lion did not notice the black iron ball hiding behind it. The huge killing intent, so when he saw that Garp's extra-large black ball attack was ineffective, he even laughed at Garp's self-control. Until the extra-large sphere fell and the blocked golden light appeared in front of him, Golden Lion's eyes shrank directly at that moment. Garp Sengoku. The shock wave generated by the collision with Garp's extra-large black ball directly stunned half of his crew members, and now the opponents have even joined forces to play a sinister trick. How can they not make Golden Lion angry? Golden Lion has no other choice now, but to use his fluttering fruit to move away quickly. Bobo. A shock wave of the Buddha caught up. Golden Lion hurriedly pulled out a long knife and clamped it on his body. The invincible shock fell directly on the knife, and the Golden Lion, who had no way to retreat, could only rely on the sky. And the fluttering fruit unloaded his own power little by little. Boom. The shock wave was continuous, and the Golden Lion was directly blown away. The rudder on his head that was inserted into his head from his last fight with One Piece, King of Pirates Roger, was about to fall apart by the blaster. That is the Achilles heel of the Golden Lion. If it is pulled out, the Golden Lion is very likely to face danger to his life. Piao fruit. Golden Lion quickly retreated in embarrassment while being blasted away by the force. Chapter 278 Lion's Scroll. Boom. The golden shock wave rushed over from the front, and Golden Lion used the fluttering fruit to fly out of his body, evading this move with no danger. He knew very well in his heart that such a sneak attack must be a one-hit kill, otherwise it would be difficult to work in the future. Haha, don't you all claim the honor of Marine? The strongest Marine Vice Admiral and Marine Admiral. Why can't a bomb blow me up? Are you both old? Have 3 shits in one meal? Golden Lion fluttered away. Or are you just a bunch of weak chickens in a basket of chickens? Golden Lion is so cool. One man fights two Marine Pillar generals. You must know that One Piece, King of Pirates Roger has been defeated by Marine, and now Golden Lion has defeated these two Marines. Doesn't that mean that his ability is superior? What a cool word this is. Shiki, don't be too arrogant. Look behind you. Garp just threw out an extra-large sphere and landed directly outside. It was particularly exhausting and he kept panting on the ground, so he was panting when he said a word. Up and down. You, tell me to look back. I won't give my goodbye to the enemy. I won't be so stupid. You must have already calculated it. Let me look back later, and you will kill me directly. I will never. Shiki was stunned for a moment, and then said suddenly. Captain, Captain. Come and save us, come and save us. Golden Lion was stunned for a moment, and when Golden Lion was about to pretend to be aggressive, he roared directly from behind him. Golden Lion was quite sure that it was his own pirate, and hurriedly turned his head to look. God. The shattered hulls were flying all over the sky. The hull was already in pieces, and the original forehead could not be seen. There were suddenly many black spots in the sky. What Golden Lion can control is those non-living bodies. If it is a living body, other than himself, the rest cannot be controlled. But now the more than 10 abandoned ships summoned above are now directly annihilated by Sengoku's Buddha's shock wave, and they become a row of your powder. Golden Lion felt that he was greatly humiliated. You did such a thing to my comrades. He jumped from his original standing position and fell to the ground, jumping into the square where Marine was standing, as if a lion jumped into the garden of a flock of lambs. You are so treacherous. I'm sorry, I won't be soft-hearted. Golden Lion laughed back in anger, and laughed wildly. The power of his whole body was sent out frantically with his own laughter, his hands beating, and the place was directly lifted up and there was a piece of ground. Bump. A huge piece of soil was directly wrapped under the Marine's combat power, and all those who didn't have time to escape were tightly squeezed together by the soil and the sawdust of the hulk. The guided lion head is on its way slowly. Golden Lion, what do you want to do? Let go of the actions in your hands and we can negotiate, otherwise we will completely destroy you here, even if we fight for your life. Let you live inside the infinite hell. Garp and Sengoku called out, those are their lovely subordinates, they can't let them have any mistakes. Infinite hell. Funny, I'll let you know what is the real infinite hell. You look at the watch on that arm yourself, do you see something wrong? The strong gravitational force has already attracted the Western film in you. When you wake up, the magnetic stripe will be invalidated. Suffer to death. Lion Power Earth Roller. A flush appeared on Shiki's face, and the energy in the palm of his hand was still being sent out continuously, and the abandoned ship hulls that fell on the ground were directly attracted to it and joined them, slowly forming two huge lion heads. The surfaces of these lion heads are all half and half bodies, which look like Zongzi crawling out of the tomb. Go, take it Garp, if you don't dare to shoot, I'll treat you as a grandson. Ha ha ha. If these two people really love these so-called Marine classmates so much, then the two of them must be tortured badly by themselves. If they really loved fellow Marine, they wouldn't be doing their best. Then the shock wave of the lion's head will pierce the opponent's heart without any barriers, guaranteeing that the opponent will vomit blood. How could this gang destroy all its hulls so insidiously? I want to avenge you. Kill. Shiki's hands were already trembling, and he pushed straight out of his chest. Two strong lion heads charged with courage that could not be matched. Boom. Garp and Sengoku didn't expect the Golden Lion to make such a sinister trick. They wrapped Marine's people directly into the ground and rolled the lion's head. The two big lion heads with strong aura came quickly towards the two of them. The two looked at each other at the same time, and then the two who were extremely tacit, rushed forward and directly faced all the attacks from these two people. Garp raised his hands at a 45-degree angle, ready to catch the Golden Lion's head directly in front of him. The lion head was still spinning at a high speed, and some sparks had already appeared faintly. I was afraid that the hands would directly block the huge lion head. Puff puff. All of a sudden, the blood spurted out in time, and the strong impact was transmitted from his arm, as if the arm was instantly electrified, making his whole body numb and painful. Iron block. Garp waited until the first shock wave was over, and instantly turned his arm into an iron block, which effectively protected his arm. Standing on the ground, his feet have firmly plunged into the mud that is 2 or 3 feet deep on the ground. However, the falling speed of that lion head has been stopped. Wow! Sengoku, who was jumping up in midair, caught the huge spear directly in midair, and the golden Buddha light started to meander from the top of his arm. A roar in his mouth, he regarded himself as a fulcrum, and Sengoku raised the huge lion head, pushed it straight up, and flew out from behind him. Pudong directly fell into the sea. Sengoku and the Garp stood together again, coldly considering the fact that they had destroyed the flying sky pirates, and the golden lion they had beaten out of breath. They have no way to deal with golden lion's flight control skills, and gliding can't flexibly strike each other. So now golden lion is giving a fucking headache. At this moment, golden lion floated into the sky again, very silent. If he wanted to run to the sky, he had to find Roger's body. That was the purpose of his trip. That was thrown by Sengoku's raised hand. With one hand now fell directly into the sea with a thud. One of them, a student with a mustache, was lucky enough to swim out of the sea. Suddenly there was a voice after saying goodbye, "It's really bad luck, why did you hit a stone again?" Chinluo used the water to melt everything and ran directly outside. As soon as he got here, he saw an object flying in the sky. This object gave Sengoku, who was Admiral, a headache. Chapter 279 Garbage Classification. As soon as Chinluo looked up, he saw the sky star, and the sky star rushed towards him. The group of lion rolls in the sky was thrown out by Sengoku, and it has loosened a lot, and now it has fallen loose, and there is mud everywhere, and some bad people. Suddenly Chinluo felt like he was drenched in shang, so scared Chinluo whispered, "Who throws garbage? Recycle for me, sort the garbage first." How can people do this now, just throwing garbage? That's fine, the people who throw the garbage are still doing this, so that the garbage is sent out without sorting. Repulsion. Almighty push. Chinluo roared wildly, repelling the power from his whole body, releasing a huge amount of energy. As a result, the soil and people that were going to be scattered all over the sky were directly pushed to a far place by Chinluo's almighty push repulsion. Most of them received strong power and were directly sent back in that direction. What happened here was seen by a marine who fell into the sea. He opened his mouth in surprise and was speechless. After all, in his eyes, except for the flying sky pirates and golden lion, who would violate the laws of nature, violating the acceleration of gravity, 13 actually fell directly on the ground and bounced back from the sea. What the hell is this? Not the Arabian Nights. There are many people who have the same doubts as him. Golden Lion directly vomited blood from these two famous marine generals in one fell swoop, especially Garp, who didn't know how to work around, and Garp, who seemed to be protecting the calf, spit out a mouthful of blood without holding back. There must have been a difference in the body. Degree of trauma. Haha, the two of you are a bunch of chickens. Weak chickens, are you a little too tender when you want to beat your great-grandfather? Golden Lion fluttered to the sky, claiming that he was invincible in the sky. At this time, Marine Vice Admiral Garp and Admiral Sengoku, who were originally staring at Golden Lion, suddenly saw a lot of people and dirt flying backwards above Golden Lion's head. They were surprised and speechless. He threw the backhand directly behind him. Why did he come back now? God, what's behind that? Why is it coming towards us? Marines were stunned. Obviously they were thrown out by Admiral Sengoku just now. Why did they come back? You, behind you. Garp was speechless in surprise. Could it be that there are ghosts in this world? You, here's another trick. Is there anything new? I won't be fooled this time. Golden Lion is a battle-hardened man, and he remembered that he was almost plotted by these two people just now. Not to mention the insidious conspiracy of Garp and Sengoku. Puff puff. Golden Lion was quite conceited, and naturally would never accept the opinions of Sengoku and Garp. It was too late to speak, and a large shadow quickly fell from the top of the man's head. Dong dong. A figure directly screamed and fell on the Golden Lion baby bump, and the Golden Lion was dizzy. Only then did Golden Lion react. He grabbed the man in his hand and threw it to the ground. With a bang, his brain was torn on the stone. The Golden Lion roared wildly, "What kind of thing actually attacked your grandpa, Golden Lion?" But before the Golden Lion roared out completely, things like going out to smash gold ingots were of course one after another, and 3 marines and 6 large pieces of dirt fell immediately. The smashed Golden Lion was dizzy. Golden Lion was smashed one after another, and his anger didn't blow, so he wanted to find the person in front of him, then tied the opponent up and used all kinds of leather whips. Slap each other, fancy show. Seek death. That turtle son dares to smash Lao Su, get out of here if you have the ability. Hey, what's your name? It's God's will that hit you. At this time, a sentence floated from the sea far away, but the man who was familiar with this sentence couldn't help but shed tears when he heard it. After hearing this sentence, the people thought it was an amiable big brother who came here. It's him, it's really him. Garp exclaimed inexplicably. You can't read it wrong. A vice admiral asked suspiciously. Although he had a deep influence on him last time, he wasn't like that. That's right, it's really him. Sengoku nodded as well. Who is he? Are you playing dumb riddles? Golden Lion couldn't help but feel very happy when he saw this group of people being so timid as mice. What are these people doing here? Said it was Marine Admiral. Why, you seem to miss me so much. It's him, our little Luyun. I know you plan to sing like this, right? Then keep singing, I'll listen. Chin-luo, although the expression on his face was blocked by the strange mask, he could still know that Chin-luo was overjoyed through his laughter. Hey, where did you get out of here? Golden Lion turned around and saw a tall and sturdy man walking in the direction of the so many dirt and people that flew over just now. The robes are added, and the clouds float. Report, a mortal kingdom admiral. At this time, a marine-like person hurriedly followed from Chin-luo's direction, just about to speak. 467 Chin-luo growled, my eyes are full. You do. The pupils turned red instantly, and the pattern on the top was divided into 2, and the 2 were divided into 4, and then the 4 changed again, until it was as complicated as the overlapping of multiple hexagrams. Marine who ran over, and Marine stared at Chin-luo blankly. Unfortunately, little Marine didn't know how dangerous Chin-luo's game was. In this way, infinite monthly reading broke out directly, and the report was small. Marine seems to have suddenly entered a very strange world, a world that is all red and red, as if he has entered a person's pupil, and a person keeps stabbing a knife into his body. Hey, what's the matter with you? Let the fart go, and tell me if you have something. Garp completely ignored the little Marine who ran out in a hurry. Could it be that this kid saw that Marineford was destroyed again, so he came out to ask the guilt directly? But after listening for a long time, I did not hear that there were people who continued to report this matter. Garp glanced at this person in confusion, and saw that the Marine behind him had also transformed into a pair of strange eyes. Garp instantly felt that things were definitely not that simple. He looked up and saw Chin-luo, who was performing illusions. A blood-red eye was exposed directly from the one-eyed mask. The complicated patterns on it were exactly the same as those of his subordinates. Chapter 280. You work hard. What does it have to do with me? Garp glanced at Sengoku, and Sengoku also looked at Garp helplessly. Even someone as knowledgeable as Sengoku doesn't know what those eyes mean. Chin-luo frowned and took his eyes back. He didn't expect that there would be witnesses after he had done that. Stinky boy, did you just hit me with people and mud? Golden Lion doesn't care what this guy who suddenly rushed out to make a report wants to do, but he definitely won't let others shit on his head urine, but now that Stinky boy has done both. I didn't hit you. Chin-luo looked harmless. Report. At this time another soldier rushed out from the main road on the Marineford side. The thoughtful Sengoku turned his back to Chinluo directly, making Chinluo unable to see his eyes. "Speak," Sengoku said. "Someone invaded our marine treasure room and stole devil fruits," said the person who reported it. "Be louder." "Someone invaded our treasury, and the means were extremely violent. They went straight to the door of our safe, and all the devil fruits stored in it disappeared overnight." "Ah, what? My God, who had the guts to knock on Marine's treasure room and directly swept away the devil fruit inside? The means are extremely brutal." Who did it?" Sengoku almost spit out a mouthful of Buddha's blood, because it was so disgusting. "Ha, you still don't know who did it. You Marines are really incompetent." Golden Lion was really relieved. He didn't expect these Marines to be taken away by others. "Golden Lion, what's so funny about you? Aren't you a gunman for someone else?" Garp said coldly. When Golden Lion thought about it, it was really such a thing. "It's his uncle. I have worked hard here, humiliating this group of turtle grandchildren tremblingly, and someone came first, and while he was dragging in front, he came the sound of the east and the west is directly attacked." Quote, "What have you to do with me?" Chinluo agreed casually. "Oh, it was you. Oh, so it's you." Marine was still chattering. Of course, most young and energetic people were filled with righteous indignation when they heard it, but those who were at the Marine Vice Admiral level would only be silent when they heard it. At this time, from Chinluo's words, they had already guessed that the person in front of them was the one who stole their Marine. Because Golden Lion was working so hard here, Chinluo entered the Marine headquarters as if he was in a no-man's land. There were no guards. Chinluo was not able to steal the Marine treasure room. Chinluo then said, "What does your exhaustion have to do with me?" The reason why the higher-ups are silent is because the person in front of him is Lu Yun, the strongest man who destroyed the Holy Land and traveled through the infinite hell. The bounty has already exceeded 2.5 billion Bailey. Marine executives have long heard of such a number one figure. They are really not the opponents of this kid, but if they can lure Golden Lion and Lu Yun to him carrot. If they profit from the fisherman, there may be a chance to clear this guy. This is Sengoku's strategy, to lead the tiger to drive the wolf. Everyone in Marine's subordinates was so angry that they couldn't speak. "Oh, so it's you. You actually use the Golden Lion as a spearman." Sengoku seemed very relaxed, and even straightened his Buddha form into a normal person. According to Sengoku, he became the resourceful general. In this world, fists and sharp knives can kill people, and conspiracies can also kill people invisibly. "Hey, Golden Lion, you seem to be used. One Piece King of Pirates Roger is not used by anyone. You are obviously not as good as Roger." Sengoku casually threw a note in his hand to the seagull behind him who specialized in destroying letters. "You stinky boy." Golden Lion's face flushed with anger. "I will challenge the whole Marineford. How could it not compare to One Piece King of Pirates Roger?" His golden beard was shaking with anger. One Piece King of Pirates Roger is the pain of his life. Golden Lion, according to legend, a long time ago, he wanted to join forces with Roger to rule the world, but Roger refused, and the enraged Golden Lion directly started with Roger, and this was the beginning of the Battle of Aver. In that life and death duel, it was said that the Roger pirates were about to die. Suddenly, a huge storm came, which directly scattered the Golden Lion's flying sky pirates into the water. The extremely conspicuous rudder behind the Golden Lion is the disgrace of his life. It can be said that it is all thanks to One Piece King of Pirates Roger. He is definitely not here today to fight for Roger. He wants to beat everyone again so he can surpass that shit One Piece King of Pirates Roger. "You brat," Golden Lion repeated. "What are you looking at, Marine headquarters? I can come and leave if I want. I need you, Golden Lion, as a spearman. Which onion are you? You are also worthy," Chinluo said indifferently. "With his means, I really don't need anyone's help." "Golden Lion, looks like you can't even beat this pirate. You're definitely no match for Roger." At this time, Sengoku said again, and the other Garp looked at the situation in front of him with a confused expression. However, Garp and Sengoku have been with Sengoku for many years, and it is the first time to see Sengoku so relaxed. You must know that the Flowing Cloud Pirate was a big pirate who almost angered Sengoku to death. But Garp didn't dare to relax at all. When Golden Lion was angry, he would kill his personality at any time, so he was always ready for Golden Lion to go wild in order to protect himself. Sengoku motioned Garp to relax, but Garp's whole body was tense. Sengoku smiled helplessly, but didn't know what to say. A strategy that is spoken out is no longer a strategy. Chinluo saw Sengoku's conspiracy and tricks clearly, but he wasn't afraid, because it would only be a matter of minutes for Chinluo to defeat Golden Lion. Lion Mighty Roll. Golden Lion's angry beard was furious, and when he came up, he did not hesitate to release a lot of energy, and directly resorted to the ultimate move. The ground on which he was standing rose crazily, and then the ground rolled up, booming. A lion head with a black head stood upright, screaming to the sky, shaking frantically. Die! The Golden Lion hovered in the air, pointing his finger in the direction of Chinluo. He doesn't care who the other party is, Lu Yun. Very arrogant. Anyway, he will kill him today. In his eyes, only Roger can be considered an opponent. Ow! The lion head of the earth roll opened the mouth of the blood basin and sprayed it directly, and when it came to Chinluo's side, a huge head was exposed, and the big mouth of the blood basin was about to hit Chinluo.